hope your ship is well. That only Jolly Roger has been through hell. Yo ho, on an adventure we go. In the deep digital high seas, we travel with ease until we reach the outer edge and freeze. The Arctic chill like a very speed mill through the darkness led by our will. Yo ho, on an adventure we go to beyond the outer limits of society, broadcasting the reality. The pirates will always steal the show. From WPRPN, you know. Yo ho, on an adventure we go. Dock our vessels in the Skullport Harbor. No land lovers will fight for you harder. Your old first mate went AWOL after a drinking guild hall. The legacy of pirate radio is strong. I hope our mates will come along. The changes we seek may not be long. That is why I wrote this song. And we go ho ho, on adventure we go.
Welcome everybody, friends, folks, foes, and fellow pirate mateys, to our weekly edition of World Pirate Radio News. It's show segment number 306. I am your host, as always, the Robin Hood's Chief Communications Officer, Chaffee Ryder. Great everybody out there, of course, could make it, whether in real live streaming time or dropping by to check out what we have available via the archived end of things. WPRPN.com is the website, of course, we will direct your attention to. Sign up is free. All you simply need is a username, password, email address. From there, everything should be pretty much straightforward. If you do happen to run into any problems along the way, do not hesitate in getting back to us via our main email address, pirate1radio@protonmail.com. That's pirate, the numeral 1 radio@protonmail.com. Take whatever steps are necessary in hoping to smooth things over and get you sailing off in just the sort of direction you hope to be. Be sure as well to check out the show description end of things. We've got a lot of great social media URLs posted in that part of what we present here each week. Helps to keep you a little more up to date, up to speed, and in the loop, as it were. So, not least of which, of course, is our Patreon end of the operation. We have a couple online stores as well, where we have coffee mugs, t-shirts, and miscellaneous number other items up for grabs. So do drop by there and check each of those outlets out if you like to support the show. Latest, in fact, as far as the merchandising end of things is concerned, galacticfire.com periodically.com, courtesy of Sonia Galactic, doing a great job over there. So, really appreciate her support. And with all the donations and purchases of, sales, products, and the like that do occur, half of everything goes directly back to the grassroots, very much in support and conjunction with the hashtag WWRHD, what would Robin Hood do, ethos and philosophy. So Pirate One Radio at protonmail.com, once again, our main email address. It's what we have running in conjunction with PayPal end of things, so do take note of that, along with the fact that, yes, if you have any show suggestions or guest ideas in mind that you'd like to see us work on bringing on board here, that's the way you go about doing it. Liking, commenting, sharing, remembering to hit subscription notification buttons, passing word along to friends, family, and co-workers. Yes, indeed. That about caps it off. And let's not ever underestimate the effect and the power that has in helping independent, underground, live streaming, shows such as ourselves staying afloat, essentially. So we really are dependent on your support. Not 100%, but to a large extent, absolutely. So, get engaged. If you're in any way listening to the content, downloading live streaming, checking us out in whatever capacity, really means a lot to us. So, all right. Well, speaking of guests, we have a few folks here that have joined us for the roundtable end of things, this unique format that we take typically once a week with the news end of things. But and Sonia Galactic in particular here with us once again, someone who has helped to bring to the table at least one guest to this point. I'm not sure if you really want to get into the details of things, but I mean, what the hell? This is your ex-husband, actually, we're going to be hosting here on Valentine's Day, of all times. So how's that for synchro mysticism? Sonia, thanks for helping out. Jeff Willis, UFOs Over Phoenix, I believe, is the website. And what more can you tell us about Jeff? What can we expect to be hearing from him when he connects with us here this Friday night, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 on the East Coast?
Well, he's making a new documentary that I just realized last night. I think it's called On the Trail, or On the Trail of UFOs, or something like that. To where I'm not sure what he's going to be doing with that. I haven't talked to him. I'm supposed to actually talk to him tomorrow, so maybe I'll find out some more information on that. But so I'm sure that's something that he's going to want to be talking about. As far as any other sightings recently, I'm not sure. I know he could probably conjure up, or however you want to say that, more before the show, because this guy is amazing. Seriously, I mean, if you want to see a UFO, go hang out with him for 5 minutes, and you'll see one. It's mind blowing, actually.
That's all it takes. 5 minutes.
For sure. Yeah. I mean,
so hold it. You lived. Yeah. You were married to him for how long?
3 years.
Mm-hmm. And how many times did you see him conjure a UFO?
Oh, well, it's not necessarily that he's conjuring it. However, they joke around about that sort of thing, of course. But after I started hanging out with him, and he showed me just to look up. All you got to do is look up. Really, it's not that difficult, and just kind of keep looking. Basically, you can't just look up for 2 seconds and expect to see a UFO. I mean, maybe nowadays you can with the whole drone thing they're doing, and apparently that's mixed with UFOs. That's a Courtney Brown thing, apparently. But if you look for more than, I don't know, 5 minutes, at least, you know, you're going to see something if you're earnest in what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
At least, and that happened to me. And that was what, 2003 that we got married. So it was a long time ago. So now it's even more prevalent because apparently that sort of thing's supposed to disclosure supposed to be happening here, you know, more rapidly, I guess. But yeah, it's not very difficult at all. And I'm sorry, I might not have answered your question.
No, that's great. You know, I'm sure people out there listening
Yeah.
get the gist of things, and we're looking forward to
it's
hosting
pretty
him
cool.
and letting him unpack, you know, exactly everything that he is wanting to bring to the table and share with the wider listening world. That's what we're here for, and that's why we
Yeah,
host
should be fun.
people like Jeff. So, all right, now Do Better has his hand up. Naroki would like
Oh.
to be first to the kind of talking stick here. We have everyone on screen share. Most everyone's hopefully, you know, no new faces to speak of. We got a great crew, of course, solid bunch of folks, guys and gals. But no, Do Better, Chris. Is there any particular reason you've got your hand up at present?
So I got the hand up because you said earlier to raise your hands, and then you just kind of went off and did your thing. So I just raised my hand. So I was like, okay,
Well, no.
I'll raise my hand.
If you got something that you like to, rather than jumping in and cutting people off, just
Yeah,
raise your hand.
I know.
and
I
people
was being facetious, but it kind of
You facetious SOB. So yeah.
Ah.
What the hell?
So yeah. Anyway, I'll let Naroki take the stick, and then we'll.
All right. And everybody here does everybody knows one another pretty much, correct? I mean, we've all at least a time or two. Naroki's probably the least regular to the round table and the things, but I think most of us probably have crossed his path at least a time or two. But you were saying, Mr. Naroki 5, host of the Red Pill Nation Hangout and fellow Edmontonian, as I once was for a short time back in the day, circa 2002. There's a now this is interesting. Did you say all native hockey tournament? Is that right? All native hockey tournament? I'm not sure if he stepped away or not. He was having some issues with muting himself. Maybe he can't now unmute himself for whatever reason. In fact, if we might have to kick him out and then he can rejoin us if he's not able to work that out. But Naroki, it's just at the bottom of your screen. If you can see here, right where my computer mouse is, the bottom of your screen, typically on the left-hand side.
If he's on a digital device, it's on the right-hand side if you're in landscape mode, and then it'd be on the bottom, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, on the bottom if you're in the.
He's on a phone, so just probably in his settings somewhere.
Yeah,
then, I guess,
so it's
right?
the bottom. Yeah, if you're in the portrait mode.
Yeah,
it'd be at the bottom. Microphone.
So
landscape.
Let's give him a few moments to work this out. If not, we can kick him out, and then he can join us. It'll, I think, automatically unmute that way if we just have him go about doing things that way. While we've got him in the crosshairs, though, let us remind listeners.
Oh wait, I'm on. I got it. I was trying to get unmuted.
Sounds a bit bubbly.
He's a robot.
Computer voice. Hey, Alan, do you want to bring your camera down a little bit? We want a closer look. Yeah, there. Zoom in on that beer gut. We love it.
What about the shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the T-shirt I made for DK.
It's on your shirt.
Oh, well, how about that?
It's DK's symbol.
Oh, good.
Yep.
So, and we're so that means that's great because DK will love the fact that we're the network is actually claiming, I think it's 10% 10% of sales of his shirts through
Nice.
Sonia. So
Yeah.
Kind of looks
Canada,
like a
20.
rocket getting ready to take
oh,
off.
is it
the,
more? It's
like,
more?
intentional.
Oh, well,
It
she's
says
so
DK.
generous.
No.
More.
No, it's
I know,
none,
but it,
actually, Daffy. None.
None. What are you talking about?
It's all for DK.
it look,
Yeah, DK
Oh,
did
you
it all.
don't
the
take
DK,
any.
the
There's no
middle part
percentage for
kinda
you at
looks like a
all.
rocket.
For me, yeah, but I'm not WPRPN.
Well, what about the finder's fee? We brought DK. We helped introduce DK to
Oh,
you.
whatever. No, I knew DK before you, bro.
You're joking.
Okay,
That's
so
what everybody
no,
says.
of course not. Yeah, Alan,
Well, actually,
because I was
yeah.
watching Alan's show, and that's how I met DK. So there you go.
Yeah,
That's-
I'm at DK's place at the moment.
So if anybody
Interesting.
gets royalties, it's going to be Alan.
Well,
okay?
then let him yeah 10% for Alan. Then that's the way it should be. That's the way the network operates, man.
Yeah,
It's
I
really,
don't want your money.
We're not-
I don't
we're
have
not
any money
like that,
problems.
Jeff,
I don't have
okay?
any money.
All right.
Well, speak for
Yeah.
yourself. You do
We're
what
not-
you
we're
want to
not-
do.
Yeah.
But we
Right.
that's
Don't
how
we all? Don't
that's
we all?
how we roll. It's the Robin Hood
I love you,
ethos
Jeffy
and
and Alan.
philosophy. But everyone,
Thank you.
has their own prerogative. So, okay, Naroki, all native hockey tournament. Is that right?
No, it's not. It's not an all-native hockey
Oh,
tournament.
geez.
It's called
Okay,
the Four
we gotta-
Nations Hockey
What does that
Tournament.
mean? All nations.
4 nations. 4 nations.
Okay, hang on.
Canada, U.S., Finland. Am I coming through?
No, well, it's like you're on
Really
weird kind of like drugs, like
I'm on my
downers.
phone.
Acid.
We're gonna
Yeah,
kick
like
you
we're
out.
talking
I'm on my
Yeah.
phone.
We're gonna kick you out
you
and
leave,
get
come
you to
Yeah.
come back
Leave.
in. So that's the best way of doing things. Oh my God, it's just horrendous. Why is it
Yeah,
that
it sounded like
Naroki
it
has
was
always
talking
got those
underwater,
sort of
didn't it?
issues?
I
And
mean, it was freaking amazing if you're looking for like an acid trip.
a quaalude kind of a quaalude. I don't know what you would call that exactly.
Okay, how am I sounding
Contact
now?
stone. Go ahead, try it again, Naroki.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Better.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. It might have been the internet. It might have been the net connection. It's really spotty where I am. 4 Nations hockey tournament: Canada, U.S., Sweden, and Finland. Best on best. Starts tomorrow.
Okay. So let's just say Canada, Finland, and who are the other two?
U.S. and Sweden.
Oh, well,
Right.
is this just right from out of the blue, or is it something that's
No,
been?
they've been talking about this for over a year. They're suspending the NHL for about a week and a half to 2 weeks.
Huh.
And yeah, these 4 nations, it's best on best. So you have McKinnon, Crosby, and McDavid on the same line together. If you know who I'm talking about there, I think you probably know. You probably follow hockey enough to remember who those 3 are.
My brother would know, but I
Is
tell
this
you,
the first
like-
time ever?
Well,
This
it's the first
format.
time in a while that Canada has, probably since 2010, that Canada has had all of its best players on one team.
right?
So yeah, and the U.S. is the same thing with the
I mean,
U.S.
as far as the 4 nations,
How many?
the 4 nations. Is this the first
That
time
format.
they've
You're
done
talking about the format.
They play 3 games. Against 1 game against each.
It's a
against
round. That's
each
called a
other,
round
and,
robin, is it not?
It's a round robin,
Right,
and
right.
whoever wins the round robin wins the tournament.
They become Batman.
Right, I'm saying,
Yeah.
is this the first time they're doing this tournament?
Big
This
dog.
is this particular style of tournament. Hopefully, they do this a little bit more often.
Well,
Yeah,
okay, all right,
interesting.
yeah. Well, it's that, and I guess that's what they're doing. It's like a trial balloon testing the waters to see how the public reacts. How many
And
games?
where's it going to be held
Well,
at?
that was my next question.
They're going to be They're going to be playing 4 games in Montreal and 2 games in Boston.
Nothing in the
there's-
West, Edmonton,
Nope,
or
there's nothing.
Vancouver?
There's nothing. It's a really short tournament. It's like 6 games long.
So they don't
it's,
want people flying around all that much, I guess. Then
Yeah, well, they'll probably if I suspect that they're going to do this every year or two, what they'll probably do is they'll just move it around to a different part of North America,
Oh yeah,
or
sure.
have them go do it overseas. I suspect at some point they're probably now that a certain president has decided that he's going to try to get the Russians and the Ukrainians to have a peace treaty, that the Russians will probably get added in at some point, so it'll
What
become a Five Nations tournament,
What do you mean
but not this
a
time.
certain president?
Well, Trump, right?
Why
Trump.
why do you have to? I mean, I'm not a
Okay, well,
huge
the
fan of
reason
the
the
guy
reason I say
either.
it
Like,
that way is because if I'm Trump can, I don't know whether it's that the case with this group, because I mean I actually agree with most of what Trump is doing, but saying that name can be really triggering.
we are live streaming through YouTube, so who knows? It could lead to unforeseen consequences. Just in mentioning the man's name, it's like they rage with some major, is it TDS?
Yeah. So yeah, Trump has gone on the record as saying that this is something that he was talking about during the election. He was gonna like do everything he could to make sure that the Russians and the Ukrainians stop fighting. The moment that happens, the Russians will probably within a year or two get reinvited back into the international
Well,
community.
they could play hockey together again because they did in the past, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah. So the Russians would almost guaranteed be given a spot. It would be added in. It would become a Five Nations tournament, but it's only four nations right now, which is still pretty good because I mean, the U.S.
When
is
did you say
we
it's gonna be?
Soon.
starting Wednesday, starting tomorrow.
Holy fuck! They did a shit fucking job fucking promoting this shit.
20
Well,
I didn't
doubloons
know
to the
nothing
where do
swear
you
about
jar
live?
this.
right off the top there. Ka-ching! We need a better sound effect.
That
Ding 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 ding
definitely
ding ding
deserved it.
ding.
So
Where do
I'll
you live
throw a
though?
couple.
That's the thing, right?
He's in
If you live,
Atlanta,
In the
Georgia.
oh
states.
yeah, they're not gonna since the Thrashers
What?
got taken out of there. They don't really do a whole lot of NHL promotion
Atlanta
in
Thrashers?
Georgia.
I
Yeah,
thought they were
well,
called
ever
I
since
thought they were called the Predators.
no, that's Nashville.
What a name
Ever
for a
since
sports team, eh? The Predators. That's kind of creepy, isn't it?
well, you see their logo. It's a big, huge, giant saber-toothed cat. So it's actually very fitting for them. Yeah, no, they don't. They don't do a lot of promotion in Georgia. I don't think. If you go down to Florida, though, by the way, one of the guys I grew up with and played hockey and lacrosse with is one of the coaches for Team Canada.
Who's that?
That would be John Cooper. He is the head coach
Mm-hmm.
of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Oh yeah. See, my brother probably he knows all these people. I'm pretty sure because of his he scouts actually for the Calgary farm system.
Calgary, yeah, for the Flames.
The Flames, yeah. That's one of his main jobs, along with working in the oil industry. So
Yeah,
he does.
so
He's done quite well for himself.
yeah, I guess they haven't really promoted it very much in Atlanta. But if you're up in the northern states or down in Florida, or in California, Southern California, they probably promoted the living hell out of it.
Yeah, but this you'd think you'd see it more national news type thing, like on the YouTubers talking.
Well, we're getting
the
it out there
NHL has
now.
always kind of been shitty in the marketing area to begin with.
And is Bettman still the president?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's one of those white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, those terrible white people that rule the world, right?
Yeah, he is. He's a really short guy too. He's like 5'6" or something like that. I've actually saw him live in person one time in Calgary. He's like a short guy.
Speaking of making bets, is everyone up to speed, or have you looked into, or even just heard about how professional sports, the amount of game fixing, rigging that is alleged to take place?
Well, here I could actually get into something about the AFC championship game between Kansas City and Buffalo. There was a very, very suspicious call.
If it's not under 50%, I wouldn't be surprised.
50%.
Oh, it was a very
50% what? What are you talking about? 50%.
If it's over 50%, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, game rigging more than 50%.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there was a suspicious call in the Buffalo Kansas City game where the runner looks like he very clearly got a first down, and if Buffalo had gotten that first down because it was towards the end of the fourth, Buffalo
There's
would
so
have been
many ways you
going.
can do it.
Oh yeah, but top of the list, of course, is getting to the refs, the referees, the officials.
Yep.
Well, I
Or
mean,
Refs, players,
just game fixing, and
coaches,
yeah, it's all bullshit, man.
equipment.
another one that sorry, I don't mean to keep jumping in here. Another
Go
one
ahead.
time I saw
Yeah, go ahead.
game fixing or suspicious calls during the New England Patriots were that massive dynasty. I saw an AFC championship game where towards the back end of the fourth quarter, the Patriots were like literally getting every single call going their way. Like every single call.
Uh-huh.
There was one point where where Brady got intercepted, which would have pretty much ended New England's chances of getting to the Super Bowl, and a penalty got called. Right? And it was a very
Borderline,
it was one of those ones where it was
yeah.
It was I saw a lot of especially when the Patriots were around. I saw the Patriots getting a disproportionately large number of favorable calls their way. I get that some of you guys.
I mean, they pretty much got away with the whole Inflategate.
Yeah, I remember that.
What gate?
They put helium. Inflategate.
With something to do with balls?
They put
Yes, it is something to do with
helium
balls.
They put helium in the footballs, or like underinflated them, one or the other.
Who did this?
It was they underinflated them, specifically the New England balls, which gave Brady better grip.
Brady a better grip. Yeah, that's what it was.
And to be should also be pointed out that particular Super Bowl, I think, was played in cold weather too, which really helped him as well.
The
they
physics,
were not super cold. Yeah.
So you're saying that the referees the balls were rigged to favor the Patriots under Brady, and then the other team was the Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, I mean,
I don't follow professional sports at all anymore.
I think it may have been Buffalo.
It was Buffalo, yeah. This recent AFC Championship game was between Kansas City and Buffalo. Buffalo, and where I believe it was getting towards the end of the fourth quarter, had the ball, and they had a 4th and short, and they appered to make it on. They appered to get that. They appeared to get the first down. If Alex, if anybody wants to know what the fourth down, first down sort of situation is, and they appeared to get it, and the referee called it that they didn't get it, and it gave Kansas City the ball back, and they took it down the field, and they think they scored a touchdown and got a field goal.
That was in the most recent Super Bowl just a couple days ago.
That was the AFC Championship game. Philadelphia, by the way, Philadelphia won the Super Bowl on Sunday. They absolutely just blew Kansas City right out of the stadium. It was over by the first half.
Yeah, I heard about that. And Trump, he left at that point, did he not? It was 36 zip or something. Is that right?
30. It was 34-0 at halftime.
All right.
It was pretty much. I mean, Kansas City got a couple of touchdowns late, but I mean, it was pretty much over by the first half. By the end of the first half.
So I'm not sure if there's anything more you like to add here, Naroki, before you have to leave. I think you're working a pretty grueling schedule with your job. You need to get your beauty.
Yeah, we had a fire alarm here at 2:30 in the morning yesterday.
Are you out in camp right now?
Yeah, I'm out in camp right now. I finished work about a little less than an hour ago.
What's your approximate location? You're in Alberta.
About an hour and a half outside of north of Fort Mac.
That's really quite something. Amazing. So that's just cool that we had we have the technology, and that that this is all coming together and making this global dialogue.
I don't know what the temperature is in Atlanta, but it's been consistently in the -20s and -30s here for the entire run.
It's a totally shitty day here right now. Looking at we got Vince Neil on
the 70s.
Listen,
last week.
sorry to jump in here, folks, but we got Vince Neal there. I'd just like to, for clarification's sake, we're on the news front of Motley Crue. He was in a bit of a now. Is he okay? His plane apparently had some issues. They went off the runway a couple days ago, I guess, and they struck another plane. Under what conditions exactly? I'm not sure.
That was Phoenix. I don't know what happened.
One
The
person
thing that I've
died.
been
One person died, and a couple others were hurt. But the news that I came across, I didn't spend a lot of time looking into it. But the story, you know how journalism is these days. It's just like, it's crap. It's like there's hardly any details. It's about as Orwellian as you can
well,
imagine.
I could get into the kind of. No, I don't really have time to do it, but I could probably talk about the kind of the anti-Trump propaganda that the mainstream media has been pushing up here. Probably since the end of January.
Not a surprise.
Oh yeah,
Castro bought off Canada's media. Yeah, what's the most recent allocation or allotment that he's issued?
It was a $600 million payment. That was about a year and a half ago. That would be CTV, Global, and CBC. And CBC is like the BBC in Britain.
It's my brother actually. I bounced a number off of him. It's somewhere in that area that what you just quoted, and he actually, I think he got back to me saying, dude, it's like more like 1.5 billion or some ridiculous figure like that, because of maybe he was calculating into how it during his time in office what it's been. It's
been one thing I'll say about what's been going on up here is that it's very easy right now to figure out who is actually getting the news off the mainstream and who's actually curious and has been looking.
Oh my God.
And it's really obvious when you look at social media, because the ones who are watching the mainstream media, it's like, yeah, fuck Trump, we're not going to be the 51st state, blah, blah, blah. And it's not going to happen. But Trudeau has been playing that up big time, because it's realistically his only way of at least guaranteeing that his party stays the opposition
relevant
when the election is got called. And he also allegedly, although he backed off on it when the independents in Canada found out what he was trying to do.
What was that?
He was going to try and use the trade war as an excuse to declare an emergency, which would have enabled him to stay in power for another 12 months.
Oh God.
Yeah.
What
that's disrespectful to assholes.
Yeah, that's a great point.
He's Trudeau. Well, Trudeau's style with dealing with Trump is to be an absolute sycophant when he actually goes to meet Trump, and as soon as he gets back up to Canada, he starts trash talking him, and it's dude, like, you realize that even in Canada, Trump has a significant, especially in Alberta,
20% or maybe around 20% or so of pretty measurable support throughout the adult population.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you're right, the propaganda machine, it's relentless and very biased, of course. So, and that's what we don't try to propagate here, although it is inevitable. Views and opinions expressed on behalf of ourselves and our guests do not necessarily reflect those of either the wire listening audience nor the show sponsors. Also, as general disclaimer, we often forget to mention that do not confuse or mistake anything that we have to offer here as formal medical, legal, or what's the other third? There's a third category I always
financial.
Yeah, thank you. Or financial advice. Seek out, either through the interwebs or in your local communities, certified professionals that can better help to, set things straight.
Yep. So that's the whole thing with Canada. The other two major things I'm following is well, first of all, we're definitely been discussing what's happened with U.S. aid Oh, you're gonna love this. I haven't posted this up, but apparently, and I think this might make a couple of you people in the U.S. excited. They're seriously considering having Ron Paul lead the audit of the
Yeah,
Treasury.
yeah. Well, yeah, the Department of Education. He was for the longest time, promoting the advocating its abolishment, and that it looks like there's something that's what Trump administration and Musk through their, what do they call this, Department of Government,
Doge,
Department
Department of
of
Government Efficiency. Yeah,
what is the last word?
Department of Government Efficiency.
Right,
Doge.
and isn't it,
Yeah.
as I mentioned last week, I believe I did. Maybe has anyone else stopped to connect the dots and realize that, although I haven't heard much of it myself as of late, you can bet there's some people that are playing it for all it's worth, and buy low, sell high, I guess. There's a Doge coin that Musk himself was, he was supporting big time. Just what was it
Yeah.
not called the
Yeah.
Doge coin?
It was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Doge. I almost thought about buying into
It
that.
still is. He continues to promote it. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Sonia, we can't see you. You only got half of your head in the picture there. The frame lets you know. There you go.
Oh, by the way, when it comes to aliens, all you got to do is basically just hang out with Grierson. He gets abducted by aliens all the time.
Are you
Keep putting
serious?
him in a
Come
gimp
on.
suit. Yeah, and put him in a gimp suit.
What's
We-
up with
we
the
have to-
gift?
we
So
have to-
he's all into that kind of freaky sort of
No, he's
bedroom
that.
antics, I guess.
That's you can tell by the way Mark
No.
Edworthy is laughing his ass off. That's a bit of a running joke on the RP.
Oh,
Hangout.
Mark's the gimp. Mark, I get it. He's the closet gimp.
Oh,
Isn't
no.
he? I thought he was a geek, not a
That's
gimp, but
believable.
whatever.
That is
I do not
Okay,
on any
yeah,
lead
so,
text. I do not on any
I
lead
can't-
text at all.
I can't
What-
stick around.
What did
I
you
can't
mention
stick
about
around.
your left testicle? What did you say?
I do not own any lead text.
Yeah. Okay, so Naroki, that's about it. Red Pill Nation hangout. Look, Mark Devereaux, we've been kind of delaying here and taking time off, waiting, thinking that the two of you were going to connect and we'd have you both on
Well,
board.
I sent him a message and he never. Well, I mean, I got a response from somebody who he talks to all the time, but I've never actually gotten. If you have a contacting for him, as I tried all of my usual avenues.
Well, I
with
did.
him,
Here's
maybe
the
he's
thing.
busy.
No, well, yeah. So we're not going to wait the rest of our lives, obviously, to make this happen. But he did get back to us at one point and say that he was on board and would be happy to put something together with us regarding the notorious Picton pig farm.
Ooh, that one.
Well, that's a primary focus of what we'd like to look at. Although and we don't often go there, as it were, but the shadow of the collective unconscious is something that needs to be examined and explored fearlessly. Although, as Nietzsche, I think, so rightly did caution us, be careful that for those who gaze into abyss, two things: those who go
Picton
seeking.
had very. Sorry, you're talking about energy here. Yeah, I told you about this.
Well, hunting and those who hunt.
I got within about 6 feet of Picton at one point. The dude had incredibly dark energy about him. Like he just gave me he gave me like, I mean, I wasn't around him very long. Like I was only around him for like maybe about 5 or 6 seconds, but he had really dark.
So you were doing like your drop off delivery kind of deal at the pig farm?
No, he was no, he wasn't in
body
the
parts
farm.
in a box. You had no idea, of course. But...
I was going into a place and he was coming. He was there.
Yeah.
And I just briefly made eye contact with him, like for like maybe about half a second, and the guy just
How'd you know it was him?
I didn't at the time. I found out after I saw a photo of him after he got caught.
You remember? It's like, geez, I saw that guy down. Was it downtown East Side?
No, it was in Poco Court Coquitlam.
Oh yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah,
So that's the main focus that we like to take. So it's a small world, 6 degrees of bacon, folks, as we so often say here via.
Anyway, you know what? I don't want to take up
Right.
everybody's time here, so I'm going to let other people. I mean, there are a couple of other things that I've been following, like this whole thing with Blake Lively and the suit that the countersuit's going on with Justin Baldoni, but that's a whole other.
That's all your realm, your bailiwick, not really ours. It's if people want to. So this is more like the manosphere, MGTOW world, I guess.
Sort of. It's also that's the reason why I'm covering it is because it does cover the manosphere. It also happens to cover film and television, which was my other area of expertise. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's got some really creepy the way it's all going. That's going down. It's got some really creepy Amber Heard false accusations kind of vibe to it, but I don't want to get into that.
Okay, two things. Luigi Mangione, and I'm not sure if he's probably, I bet he's more closely related to Chuck Mangione. Does anyone remember Chuck Mangione or Mangione? I think he was a trumpet player back in the day.
A jazz musician.
Yeah,
he wrote one of the big themes for the 1980 U.S. Olympic Games in Lake Placid.
That surname is it's not all that common as far as I can tell. So I bet they're probably a lot. Who knows?
Well, here's the thing about Luigi Mangione, and then I'm going to finish this off here because I don't want to dominate the whole conversation tonight. I am probably going on because I also now have a Rumble live stream going as well. I will probably be covering Luigi Mangione as a topic, probably within about a month, because Luigi Mangione and the way he's behaving is more consistent with an incel. And there's very eerie parallels between him and a guy. And I don't think any of you people might remember this guy, Elliot Rodger. There's some very eerie parallels between him and Elliot Rodger. And the only difference is that they deified Mangione and they turned Elliot Rodger into a pariah. But there's a lot of similarities between the two of them.
And incel, for the uninitiated out there, it's involuntary celibate.
Yeah.
So there we go. Just speaking of demonizing, I mean, I don't know what the statistics are on that exactly, but they make for easy targets, easy pickings.
Well, again, you never had him on, but and this is something that's well known inside the manosphere. It doesn't really matter what faction you belong to right now. If you don't know anything about the manosphere, then basically you think that everybody in the manosphere is an incel, and incel is actually a very small fraction of the manosphere. It's not really particularly a large part of the manosphere, but it's an easy target. They're an easy group to target.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm hypothesizing, that because of their lifestyle, as it were. I mean, involuntary celibate. I mean, that doesn't mean does it thereby assume, or is it that why not go out? My dad told me this when I was a lot younger. Just that all you had to do is forget about marrying. He said, just go out. You get a date for the night. You show her your appreciation at the end of the evening. He's like, here's $100. Thanks for the good time. Maybe see you a couple weeks. If you catch my drift. It's like there's a lot of streetwalkers out there. Actually, why do you even need streetwalkers when you can call somebody up? For like a back massage or what is it?
There's all sorts of ways. There's all sorts of ways to get the itch scratched.
I mean,
the issue with incels in particular is that they seem to be like fixated on in particular external validation from women, and in particular sexually, and there's a lot of I don't really want to get into it right now.
It's a whole psychological sort of categorization where you're putting people, not just you, I'm saying that people are being put into categories and camps, which might not be as accurate, the portrayal as accurate as we're led to
Yeah.
believe. So
Well,
we
I
need to
mean,
be
yeah, they
careful.
put way too much of their personal identity into having sexual relations with women and getting external validation from women. And there are techniques in the manosphere that are readily available. In fact, I talk about them quite frequently that will enable most guys to push past that, but they have to be will.
You
It's like that whole.
uh, addiction to porn, or the need to constantly be relieving themselves
Yeah,
sexually,
well, yeah,
or dependent on women
the need for validate, the need for female
well,
sexual
but here's
validation.
okay, but here's the thing. I mean, maybe Sonia is aware of this, but I needed a former girlfriend to actually draw us to my attention how women, with their sense of self-esteem, it's not just men, they depend, they rely on constant validation and
Yeah,
attention from men.
a
So
different
here's
it's a
let me finish, Naroki. It's a double-edged sword. You look at a woman, they think you're a pig. You don't look at a woman, they're like, what's wrong? What am I, just chopped liver? You know what I mean?
yeah.
So damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Was
You didn't
I
look at
belong to
me.
the
Like what?
MGTOW. I belong to the MGTOW faction of the master. It's sort of like no matter what move you make, it's wrong. And with a lot with MGTOW, it's like, you know what? Just screw that. I'm not even going to play that game anymore. That's
I
well,
think the focus is in maybe the wrong place, really.
Oh,
what do you
with incels, it definitely is in the wrong place.
what do
But
you what do you
anyway,
what do
you
you
know
mean
what?
by Sonia? What do you mean by? Do you have
Yes.
to? And Naroki, maybe it's that's
Well, she
well
has a
let
really
Sonia
good
cap
point.
this off, and then you can make your way on out the door. Go ahead, Sonia. We haven't heard from you in a while.
Well, I was just going to say that maybe the focus might be in the wrong place instead of worrying about what someone else might or might not think of you, or just be yourself and let it go.
Yeah, that's
You know?
exactly. Like I mean that's what that's when I run into incels, that's what I tell them. That's what I suggest to them. Again, though, this is where I'm going to end off here.
Involuntary
You can
celibate just means you don't have a girlfriend.
No, it means you're not getting sexual validation from women.
You're not getting laid. You don't have a
That's
girlfriend.
so interview. Oh, Naroki, come on, man. What are you doing?
Neil,
What do you mean, what am I
okay,
doing?
I'm just curious. Did you hear about the reports that the UK Home Secretary
Yes, I have heard about that. Me and
UK
Dean
homosexual what?
Hindu nationalism and misogyny and the so-called manosphere being identified as breeding grounds for extremism?
Run that by us one more time, slowly.
Yeah, there was some reports that was commissioned by Yvette Cooper, the
Let
UK
him
Home
finish,
Secretary.
Mark.
Which stated that Hindu nationalism, misogyny, and this so-called manosphere have been identified as breeding grounds for extremism.
Well, look at the rape, the grooming gangs. They're Pakistani largely. I'm not sure about Hindu. Pakistanis tend to be Muslim, don't they? Why is she targeting or singling out the Hindus when it's generally the Pakistanis that are and they're what are they, Sunni, Shiite Muslim, I think, are they not?
Yeah, you can say I could go on about this for a
Yvette
very,
Cooper.
very
Yes,
long.
yes.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
that's
again,
why
I
we need
said
you
this.
back for a feature show.
Yep, because it's like I could go on and on. What Yvette Cooper was saying though is like, yeah, that's what the issue with a lot of, and this is the issue that both Mangione and Elliot Rodger had, is that they couldn't do exactly what Yvette was just saying. They just could not move past it.
But Mangione,
And
it was not. Why is it got? It's a sexual angle to the reason, motive behind him shooting this CEO or this
yeah,
high
you want
profile
to know?
health
Yeah,
insurance con
yeah,
man.
he was denied a health claim because he had a parasailing accident, which basically eliminated his ability to have sexual relationships with women.
Oh well,
And he's
okay.
also from
Yeah.
a very he's also from a he's a very good looking guy. He's from a very wealthy family. So probably up until that point, he'd probably been doing he may have been a little bit unhinged, but he was probably doing okay. And this is something that happens with, especially if they've got status and they lose
Yeah.
it like
Well, you know
that.
what? As far as I'm circumcised, the guy took one for the team. Okay, he took one for the
You're
team.
you're circumcised, Jeffy?
Yeah. As far as I'm circumcised, yeah, it's a way of saying
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, right? It's just
He-
kind of
I
a
was
Okay,
just
guys,
thinking, oh, better
I was
fit,
supposed to
you know.
leave.
Red
I
Pill
was supposed
Nation
to-
hangout. Thank you, Naroki. We'll
Yeah, I was
add
supposed
your.
to leave 15 minutes
Love you,
ago. Have a
Naroki.
have a good show, guys.
All right. Happy
Bye.
sailing. Okay.
Cheerio, mate.
So, all right, now we're just kind of freestyling here, folks. I've actually honestly grown a little not as disciplined and focused as far as news gathering uh, uh is,
Yeah.
what has been up until now. This is our 10th year. Okay, so the burnout factor is a little it's definitely present at times, and I'm confident, however, just in bringing, what do we got here? We got 5 people, our heads together. Just a couple of the top stories. U.S. aid,
I'd like to talk
America,
about
Canada,
a certain
51st
subject.
state. Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, well, what about that orange-haired bloke reckons that he's going to move all the Gazans out of Gaza and
Yeah.
build a riverina in.
That's just that's. I mean,
that's just-
the guy. He's a total anti-Semite.
Mark's going
I mean,
on.
Oh, mate,
Trump.
seriously, that's just like, unfortunately, none of us are surprised.
No,
I don't.
but do you hear what I said? He is the prototypical, maybe arch anti-Semite, and I'm saying that because we need to, people who are interested in the truth and more honesty, need to reclaim these words and these catchphrases, to rework some of them as well, slogans and so forth. And it's Gazans are about as Semitic as it gets, whereas most of the Jews in Israel, from my understanding, they're not. And why are they even playing like some quasi-ethnic racial card and angle? Anyways, that seems rather odd and peculiar, and it's dishonest and disingenuous.
They're pretty good at playing the victim.
And
they've been doing it for thousands of years, I think.
Well,
sorry,
I was
going to say, is it unusual? Is it strange for them to play the ethnic card, considering what's the narrative in Europe at the moment in relation
what do you mean? Elaborate a little more, if you would.
The racial, the narrative, the diversity is our strength argument. Yeah, that's a bunch of
diversity is our strength.
Yeah.
Well, that's all in conjunction with the Kalergi plan. Is everyone up to speed on the Kalergi plan?
Yeah, I heard something about that recently. Why don't you fill us in, Jeffy?
Maybe now's a good time. Hang on a second here. Let's see what we can do.
Yep. Give us some news,
I was going to ask everybody. I'm going to put myself on camera here, see if this.
Put yourself on camera if you like, Jeffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't quite hear you.
Yeah. Put yourself on.
So there we go. Yeah. Do you? I was going to ask how many of you like my new look.
Not so. No, it's great. Yeah, great.
Kind of.
Kind of what?
It's warm. Warm. I'll get warm.
How's that? Actually, the new look. The new look. Here's the new look for you. There's the new look.
Oh, yeah.
How's that? That warm enough? I've gone.
It's
that's
very,
right.
No wonder you're so bloody cold. You got bloody hair.
I've gone full blown neo-Nazi. Sigal!
Apparently, you should not even play with that.
You don't believe? You don't know? I'm serious.
No, I know. That's why I said you should not play with that.
I'm not. Yeah. I'm just saying.
It's just not wise.
Let me.
So.
Yeah.
It's very attractive, though. It's
really?
glasses.
No, there's a reason I did it. it's
No,
not
no.
because I've wanted to become a skinhead. That's the last.
Well, of course
I
not.
could.
Of
Well,
course not.
you
Come
never
on.
know. Eh?
Come on.
So
Well,
with the
that's
Bodhisattva,
true, I guess, but
Bodhisattva, Buddha in the background, right? So, but in
yeah, but
Korea,
your hair is your antenna, so it
yeah.
alerts you to things that are in
I
your
like my antenna.
environment. Yes.
yeah,
If we were in a battle, Alan would be much more equipped to deal with any
Mhm.
attack than you would because of your hair. That's all. That's why they shave people's heads. Duh.
yeah. Well, I've heard that, but in South Korea, one reason people see it, they have no concept of neo-Nazis or
Sure.
neo-Nazism
Yeah,
here,
of course.
so I can get
Of
away
course.
with that. It's not a problem. But there's many angles. Maybe he's just
A person
lost.
should be able to shave their head anyway without any other of that.
Look at
any
Mark.
wrinkles coming up on them,
I've dropped
what I
this.
mean? Come on.
I'll throw this out there. Mark's like, is this
Yeah, right.
what's going on? Is this for real or what? So, but yeah. No,
Mark
but
is a
look,
value.
you're
That's
old
priceless
and
value.
you're old and you've lost your hair, or maybe I've joined the U.S. military. It is my
You could be young and
23rd
bald too. I mean,
23rd tour of duty right now. Okay, this is my 23rd tour of duty here in South Korea.
Really?
So, that's something
Duty.
worth considering. Do we have DK there?
Yay!
Kind of
yay!
coming to
Yeah,
Oh,
you guys
DK's
there.
there.
yeah. We did.
You just got the,
Oh
Hi,
God.
DK. I
Oh,
love you,
Jesus.
bro.
yeah, DK, I love you.
He just
Yeah.
called in Jesus.
Yeah, just keep him off. Keep him off the mic. Keep him off.
Jeffy.
I'm guaranteed.
Jeff.
No. No,
Jeff.
no,
Come on.
no.
No, DK's fine. He's
No,
fine.
do you know what a
He's
red
fine.
card? No, do you know what a red? Oh, maybe with you on your show. Go ahead. With ours here though, he's had red card, red card, red card, red card. How much has he
That's
been
what
drinking,
most shows.
Alan? How much has he been
That's what most
drinking?
shows.
He's finished
probably
yelling.
not
He's
as much
finished.
as me.
He's yelling
You
and
know what? You
screaming
should-
at people upstairs.
I'll probably drink a bit more.
You should ask serious questions.
He's finished
Not how
yelling and
much has he been
screaming.
drinking.
Hang on.
I mean, that's not even a. Who
Hang on.
cares?
Oh,
doesn't
Sonia.
Matter.
That's another no, because it's the thing. 2 drink. We used to have it as 2 drink minimum. That didn't work out
Yeah, I
too
know.
well. So no, it's a 2 drink. It's a cap,
Well,
like
yeah.
Art Bell used to do. 2 drink maximum, and that's it. And if you can't handle it, if you're too much of a lush or whatever, however you want to phrase it,
A lush.
well, lush.
I haven't heard that in a
That's
while.
yeah, or
Yeah, I know
someone
exactly what you mean.
that's what do you say? Just a functional alcoholic, or however you want to put things. It's just too. No, not here, not on this show. So, but
Yeah, that's cool.
what
DK's
we were
fun,
talking about. No, so here's the thing: neo-Nazis, maybe, or a U.S. soldier, possibly, but also, or an old dude that's lost his hair. Yeah.
Right, or a young dude who's lost his hair. Young guys lose their hair; they go bald all the time.
Yeah. Or
My second
or
husband.
what's
was like
another
that,
what's
so.
another possibility or scenario?
I knew a guy one time. He was younger too, but he just alopecia. He just lost all of his hair
not
from
okay.
stress.
Another scenario though, other than that, what's another reason why people shave their heads?
They join the army.
To get a tattoo.
That okay? Do you want a tattoo? Fine.
That's why I shaved my head.
What's another one?
I got
No.
Valkyrie
Okay.
wings,
They go
bro.
gray.
Yeah.
Their
Okay.
hair, I
Okay.
guess.
They don't like their gray hair, so they just
You
want to
could
go
always
bald.
just dye gray hair.
Well,
I mean.
Can I tell you a little bit of story about getting your hair cut?
Hang on. After we're done,
Absolutely.
just
Or wait,
hang on.
maybe
Yeah.
after.
Yes.
Sorry.
Debbie.
yeah. Just
We're not co-hosting, so
Another
yeah.
reason would
I would
be
say
some
yeah.
kind of,
He says no.
hang
We,
on.
Some
we're
kind
not
of
on the same
challenge.
page all the time.
So another scenario is
some-
monk. Monk. You forgot.
yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
forgot monk.
Religious
Okay.
reasons.
Or
friends,
in Korea.
family, whatever, internet,
Pardon me.
Because of the internet.
dumb challenges like
Okay, dumb
friends or
challenge.
whatever.
Yeah.
Dare.
There you
That's
go.
yeah. I dare you.
Dares.
Yeah. Or finally, or like what the reason I've done it is a way of protesting and showing my displeasure for something that I'm having to deal with here on a personal
There you
front,
go.
as far
There you
as
go.
immigration
Or in
is
I
solidarity.
think
concerned.
I think that's why I got tattoos on the side of my head, because when I was
Did you
married to
hear?
Jeff,
So both, did you either of you hear why it
decided
was
to do
done?
that. I'm
Why?
sorry, Jeff. Go
Why?
ahead.
Now tell us, Jerry.
Said
I
to
just said,
protest.
but people were talking.
Protest.
Yeah,
Because
exactly. It's
personal
a
reasons.
protest because of issues I'm facing here regarding immigration, in particular the biometrics, submission to biometric fingerprinting.
Well, good on you there,
Essentially.
brother.
Well, yeah, but we'll see how it all plays out. I'm probably going to have to be. I'm facing a significant fine as it is, because I'm 5 years. I've got a decent visa status here, but it expired, I guess, around 5 years ago. So, yeah. But
All I know,
we'll
Jeff,
see how
with
this all
stuff like
plays
that,
out.
with stuff like that, really, it's all in how much credence you give it or how much value you give it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't give it any value, seriously,
Yeah.
my student loan
Yeah.
disappeared.
Yeah.
Just
Or
didn't
they
disappear.
how much
It was
credence
way-
they give you if you want to leave the
No,
country.
not that they give you it. You got it backwards. It's not that they give you any credence. It's what you value within yourself, which will come into your field or your reality. Because
So-
okay, for example,
How do you
like I
leave
was
the country?
saying,
How do you leave the country without submitting and playing the game?
I don't have any experience with that, so I
Wow.
can't tell you so
This
much
is-
that.
yeah,
Although
so that's a
we
little
can look
different.
into it we can look into that if you would like to. However, from what I have experienced, it has to do with how much value you give or how much credence you give to whatever the law is or the thing is.
Yeah. See, what I'm going to
Like with
do.
my student loan, which I'm just going to say just real quick,
Right.
my student loan, I totally just like let that go as far as worrying about it goes. It's a very simple concept. You know how you worry about your bills? I got this bill, I got that bill, I got to pay this bill, got to pay that bill. I stopped worrying about it for whatever reason, and there are many, but I won't go into those here. However, I stopped worrying about it, and the complete, and this was before they started letting people's student loans, just go. Apparently that happened
with
after
Biden.
that. No, this was way before that.
I think Biden.
But it was just one of those things to where it just stopped. Like all the calls stopped, everything stopped. It's like I deleted the whole thing.
Oh, they were trying to get your attention, were they?
No, they were not. They were not trying to get
What
my
do you mean?
attention
What do you
at
mean?
all.
Calls stopped.
Well, you know how they call you.
They're trying to get
know?
your attention.
Like if you don't pay your bill, they call you and they're like, "Hey, you have this bill."
Yeah, we'd
and
like your
everything
attention.
Stopped.
Yeah.
Well, maybe so. However you want to look at it, I guess. But my point is that, and not only just in that example, there's many examples that I can think of personally. But when you give that weight.
Yeah. Well, here's the decision that I've made, and it is to go to immigration, and if it's necessary, pay the fine and submit to having to submit.
You should never submit.
Well,
you should never submit to anything. Even when you have a little submit button on your screen. I make sure that on my website, I don't put any submit buttons. And if I do, I put a disclaimer saying, hey, I'm not trying to get you to submit to anything.
Let me finish. Let me please finish. There is a disclaimer.
Of course.
Doing it under duress. Is have that entered into the official government.
Yeah,
record.
That makes sense. Like when you sign a ticket or whatever.
I don't know. But I'm not. I'm
like
doing
a traffic
the
ticket.
operative word is under duress. So look it up.
Take a vote.
Pardon me. Basically, it's saying, "Oh, I'm doing this. I'm not happy, and I don't agree with it at all."
But you're forced into it,
and I've shaved my head for the Korean immigration people to show that I'm serious about the whole business. That's a violation of our privacy. It's overly intrusive. I would have been there a long time ago had this ridiculous. I already had to submit fingerprints. It was a real surprise because in the West, generally, I mean, I think it's the same in America, isn't it? That when you submit fingerprints, that you're in a police station. Basically, you're suspected
Right.
criminal. You're suspected
It's the only time I
criminal.
ever had my
Yeah, yeah.
fingerprints taken.
So that's what in Korea the default. No, it's Napoleonic code. Look that one up, folks. It's the opposite of innocence before guilt. It's the other way around entirely. That you are presumed to be guilty before you have to prove your innocence. So and we're
Kind of a bit
presumed to
fascist.
be criminals here, basically. With
Yeah.
everyone's
Well, yeah. Another fascist state, like all
well,
states.
it is, and I've been saying that for the longest time. In fact, people are just so slow to pick up on this whole business
Yeah.
of how it's with the New World Order. It's world fascism. It's not complicated. People
Yeah,
spend
yeah.
all this time and energy arguing. It's like, wake up, people! Beware the technocracken. Big pharma, big government, big tech, big entertainment. I mean, look at Eisenhower. Beware the military-industrial complex. Big banking, big
Yeah,
debt.
no one listened
Big
to him, though, did they?
All the
The,
scene.
the opposite argument would be you may not agree with the law, but you have to submit to the law. If you don't like the law, then you can vote at the next election.
No,
Oh, yeah,
well,
like,
no,
like
well,
that'll make a difference.
well,
Come
hold
on.
it. No,
Come
no,
on.
Mark,
Come
Mark,
on.
That's the theory. That's
Mark,
the argument.
Mark.
Come
It goes,
on.
Mark,
Come on.
Mark. It goes further than that. You can vote.
Yeah.
Vote. Yeah, voting. If voting was actually real and worked, it would have been made illegal a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah.
But the thing about it is you not just voting, but no, you can change. If you don't like it, change it. So that's my way of
Yeah.
looking at it. If you don't like it, just change
It's
it.
about changing what you
Yeah,
allow into your field.
everybody changes peacefully. Revolutions
Pardon
That,
me.
that sounds
quite
very good.
often
Like,
become disastrous.
What? Pardon me, Mark. Say it again, please.
Yeah, you've got to do it within a legal means.
Well, look, if I want to leave
this
the
isn't-
country,
I
it's going to
completely
be
disagree.
complicated. If I want to
Yeah.
return to Korea, it's going to be complicated. It's good to have the visa status that I presume to have essentially, and have acquired with having passed a language proficiency test and so forth. So, and we'll just play it, see how it all plays out, basically.
Doing it with legal means is obviously how it works here in the 3D, but there's the ethers we have to consider, and doing it in the legal means in the ethers is much different than it is here in the 3D.
So how about an ether
depends on
Jedi trick, like a Jedi trick where you're passing through customs
that, yes.
at the airport?
It is like a Jedi trick, absolutely.
At the airport
it
in
is.
customs, just like, well,
Absolutely it is.
I don't
sure you've
have a
had many
passport.
experiences like that.
I don't have a passport, and my citizen card is that expired years ago. But I'm going to go to Canada, and I'll be back in a couple of weeks.
If you would like me to
Oh.
help you with that, like discerning that, I will totally help you with that. Absolutely. You just have to give me more details at some time off camera or whenever.
Well, I think I've provided enough of details as it is, and you're welcome to offer any etheric support that you will.
Only if you ask, Jeff. You just have to ask.
Well,
me.
if it's support,
I mean, of
course. Yeah.
Sure.
Otherwise,
who would not want support from their friends? I mean,
otherwise, it's black magic, where
it is black magic that we're dealing with, and that's what I'm talking about. Where I can help you through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree.
So I have a new T-shirt here. It is Only You Can Discern, which is kind of similar to the Only You Can Stop Forest Fires.
So
right?
this ad brought to you by galacticfire.com.
galacticfire.com.
Yeah. And how much did you pay for that ad?
Hey, what are you talking about?
Well, for the ad, how much was the advertising?
What do you bring this? I don't understand what the question is.
Essentially, time and space.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't think
You'll have
we haven't worked out an
You'll have
advertising.
to clue me into that.
Well, like a
But
promotional.
this is one of my new T-shirts
deal.
I'm promoting here because I
Uh-huh.
just came out with it this week,
Looks good.
and it is. Do you like it? Have you seen the actual picture?
Well, most of them all look good. So I'm just trying to get.
Thank you, Alan. Love you, Alan.
What's going on?
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
The
Well,
screen's
because
completely black. That's weird.
it is weird, huh?
Hang
It's
on.
because
there we go.
only you can discern what happens in these areas when plastic trash cans kind of just hang out and, you know, other things that are harder to burn actually burn.
Mhm.
You know,
Hey,
yeah,
okay.
I'm sure you guys already know what I'm talking about. I'm sure most folks who have at least half of a brain know exactly what I'm talking about.
How about
But it's
burn?
just a shirt you can wear around to
Yeah.
where people can maybe ask, hey, what are you talking about? Or
Right.
whatever. And then people
That's
can
right.
explain, hey, this is what's going on.
You
know,
mentioned burn as you discern. How's that for a short, catchy little slogan?
Burn as you discern. Hey, I like that.
Or
Jeff.
how about
Yeah,
this? Or
I didn't catch that one.
even shorter. Discern or burn.
Discern or burn. Yeah, that
No, I
makes
think
sense too.
burn as you
I love
discern is a
rhymes.
little better. Burn as you
Burn.
discern. Yeah.
No, not burn as you discern. I'm okay on that one. I'm good. I'd rather discern and not burn. How about that? How about we do that one?
Where I'm gonna do it. It's a lyric.
I'm not into burning.
launch and put
I don't know
together.
about you. I mean, I like burning
It's
other things.
metaphorical. It's not literal necessarily.
It is. Yeah, well, metaphorical. That's the whole Black Badger thing. Okay, I'm just saying.
Are you saying all
Little
poets?
tip.
All poets
Little
are black magicians?
They could be. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, sure.
It absolutely could be. That is more to the effect of black magician than anything else would be.
Poetry.
Rhymes are definitely.
Well,
Yes,
there's
absolutely.
spells. What language? All language
Well,
is spelling.
what do you think black magicians do? They put out spells.
Programming is definitely
that's another department.
But,
that's the programming department.
Yeah.
So it's a different department than the black magician department. But they are departments that happen within other places that are not known to the public.
Well, as you Edward Bernays was. I'm not sure if you've heard of Edward Bernays or
yeah,
not.
I absolutely have. Absolutely.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, he's definitely working with both departments.
Right.
He's in the our research and development department, the R&D department. That's where he was at.
Big shout out to Karma Love here. We got our computer actually for some reason is really it's kind of not operating. Not the peanut gallery end of things is kind of not providing us with the sort of visuals that. Oh, there we go. Let's just scroll up. So Amos chiming in over on YouTube. Karma Love going at it big time, and I think we saw.
There you go. Thank you, Karma.
A lot of people. Yeah. Karma's really just totally unloading. I'm not sure why she's in the Skype.
She needs to come on the show.
She doesn't join us though. She's she can be a little shy and stand.
She's got things go. She's got some stuff going on. She's got shit to do. You know.
Okay, Just Magic. What? That's incredible. We've already got 100 messages. People chiming away there through the chat end of things. That's pretty quick. It's not usually that fast, but we are gonna cut away to commercial break here. Another commercial break on top of what we've just sort of surveyed and addressed on the Galactic Fire.
You're hilarious, Jeff.
T-shirt front. So. Oh, by the way, remember one other little slogan we'd like you to take note of and just work with it, make about what you will. Like thieves in the night. That's the one I'd really like to get out there as far as the pirate end of things is concerned. Like thieves in the night, and you're doing an amazing job. This is
good. I'm glad you're happy with it.
Well. The Kraken, beware the Techno Kraken was very good. You almost perfect. There's that slight little tweak as far as the visual.
Totally your idea.
Beware the Techno Kraken.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
That wasn't my idea. That's your idea.
Well,
I'm just helping. I'm just taking your idea and running with it.
Well,
So.
Everybody has their what they can bring to the table. That's really what it's
Sure.
all about. And that's we've like Mark has technical skills in a different capacity. You know, I help out with the live streaming. You've got the AI and merchandise and so on and so forth. Chris, I mean, if somebody's their vehicle breaks down, you know, Chris, I'm sure would be willing to offer a tip or two at least. And if he's there in person,
Don't
you know.
forget,
Actually,
I can.
I'm kind of merging into a more of a promotion / advertising and field representative. I guess I could be out in the field,
Wow.
correspondent type situation while I'm on the road. Here in
Well,
the next few
I'm
weeks, I'll
looking for
be on the
marketing
road.
here pretty soon.
so hang on. When are you taking off then? Exactly. Do better.
I'm gonna delay till the first week of March.
Key
So I was
West.
thinking
Yeah.
that, yep, first week of March.
Excellent.
Taking
Excellent.
off, heading down to first Gulf's Landing, and I'm gonna hang out there for maybe a week, and then leave from there out to Key West.
Now I hope that we can connect with you in real life time when the show goes
Yeah,
out.
that's what I'm saying. Maybe
Yeah.
I could be like on the road correspondent, like as I'm out in the field.
That would be cool.
Some of the
That would be super cool.
visuals would
Yeah.
love to have those shared with the audience members, the wider listening world, of course.
I can help you with that, Chris. However you need, like T-shirts or even just like helping you get to
Yeah,
where
we'll
you can
talk
do the
later.
correspondence
just
or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah,
right.
just let me know.
I'm looking for somebody. I'm
10%
actually looking
collective
for like
kitty.
a
Maybe
social
20. I think
media
25 is probably
manager.
better. 20 or
Fucking
30.
Jaffe.
No, that's
Yeah.
what would Robin Hood do? Just ask yourself, Sonia, what would Robin Hood do? Go ahead, Alan. We got to cut away to commercial break. Another commercial
Yeah,
break.
no worries.
Copy,
Well,
Chris.
I was just going to say, well, I'm as you know, in New Zealand at the moment, and tomorrow I'm heading up to Christchurch. I'm going to go visit Vinnie Eastwood.
All right.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Awesome. Good for
So
you,
I'll-
Alan. You're
awesome.
getting around.
We're doing a show tomorrow, or actually the next couple of days with Vinnie and DK up in
I'm a bit
Christchurch
jealous.
in Auckland. But at the moment, I've got to sign out for now because I've got to go do stuff, you know. Yeah, you got to. Well, actually, I'm not
Good
going to the
talking to
bowler. I'm
you.
going to the fish and chip shop, but I've got to go and do stuff, so I'm going to have to sign off.
You're looking good. You're looking good and sounding good. So
Yeah, he is. Huh?
I'm living the dream, mate.
thanks for taking the
Yeah,
call.
good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep,
For you.
keep
Tell
us
Vinny we said hey.
I just got to get my teeth
I
fixed.
definitely said hey.
what's all the latest, because we know some of the big issues that you work in support of, raising consciousness on and awareness that
Yeah.
maybe the wider public has either forgot about, ignored, or just not been aware of at all to this point. The whole, do you care to address, or just kind of bring us kind of a basic summary of what those are that you would like more people to investigate and come to?
Yeah, well, you look at the news, and I'll try not to look at too much, but you can't help but look at the news and realise that whatever they're saying, it's probably the opposite.
No, it is.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of like when I do my shows and stuff like that, it's a case of like just talking about the news stories and giving it a my sort of bent on it, if you like. But
Critical
it's basically
analysis.
critical analysis.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I try to do. Except for my last show, I did a show yesterday, as I was saying before, and that was just all about that. My last road trip. Great video. Go and have a look at it. Let me just say, we went down to Invercargill. I don't know if you've heard about the movie World's Fastest Indian.
No.
Well, it's an Anthony Hopkins movie about a guy from Invercargill that built his own motorcycle and went to the States, the Salt Flats thing, as an old gentleman, and go see the movie. You find it anywhere. World's Fastest Indian. Great, feel-good type movie. And yeah, well, we went down to Invercargill just because I wanted to go down there, and we got there just in time for the annual Burt Munro Festival.
Mm-hmm.
Like the guy who he's quite a famous New Zealander down from Invercargill. He was he had the world's fastest Indian back in the 60s sort of thing.
Oh,
and they did
Indian
a movie about it.
motorcycle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it
Well,
was something where
Indian.
it was like of a racist bent, and you had these people like in the
No.
the clan or something, chasing
Indian motorcycle.
these poor
Seriously, folks.
buggers. Yeah.
Look it up.
Okay, got it.
It's one of Anthony Hopkins' best movies ever, and
It's
it's a bit of a feel-good movie because there's not. It's one of those strange movies. There's not really any bad guys.
It's a recent release, is it? It's current.
Within the last 10 years or so.
I see.
Yeah, so yeah.
Okay.
Seriously, look it up.
All right.
And yeah, it's a story about this guy Burt Munro.
Yeah.
And I just came out here because I felt like coming to New Zealand, but I always wanted to go to Invercargill to find out about this guy. And yeah, I arrived on the weekend that their festival was on without even knowing it was going to be on. But
right. There you go.
Synchromysticism.
This trip for me has been like, I don't plan anything. I'm not planning anything, but everything's coming together well. It just sort of seems to be.
That's happening for me too,
soak up the
Alan.
vibe.
That's happening for me too, Alan. Actually, ever since like you guys' t-shirts, even DK's t-shirts or DK's t-shirts or whatever, yours will be coming soon, I'm sure. But things have really just been turning around. So that's awesome.
If you do good work, you get, shall we say, rewards, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Be good to each other.
That's right.
Try not to hurt anyone. And yeah, well, the universe will fall into place.
Much love,
Maybe.
no fear.
Exactly.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, okay.
Love you, Alan.
I got to go, guys.
You let DK know we said that, all right? Much love, no fear.
DK.
Cheers.
Get on the camera, DK. You got
Come on,
You got 2 minutes.
You know, Jeff.
Keep it together.
See you. Come here, baby.
Get in closer. Get in closer. Your face is all blurry.
Have a seat.
Crazy ginger bastard.
Glad to help.
All right.
Oh, here we go.
Long John Baldry's. Yeah. What's that say?
Yeah, that's what I made him, Jeff. They're
You
awesome.
did? You made that for him?
Yeah, I made it for him.
That's
These
pretty
fun
cool.
t-shirts.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
There's another one too.
Sonia.
Yes, I love you.
Bring the camera down.
Yeah, I really do.
Good to see you sober today for a change.
Everything you've done.
Oh, yeah.
All of the t-shirts turned up.
Yeah.
This is my favorite one.
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy you love them. That's so great. I'm here to help, bro. Whatever you need, let me know. I'll help you out.
He doesn't have he's got no girlfriend at the time.
We have to go get food before the food place closes.
Yep. Okay.
That is the problem.
Bring the camera down, Ellen. Oh, he's out of there. Okay.
Oh, it's okay.
It's kicking me
All right.
out.
Yeah, well,
Much.
It's okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, guys.
Love you guys.
Love you guys. Hey, mate. And we'll talk soon. And well, keep an eye out for one of my shows from Auckland with Vinny Eastwood.
Absolutely.
Is it Auckland or
Christ? On YouTube?
It'll be on YouTube. Yep.
Auckland or
77
Christchurch?
miles, I can
You said
find
Christchurch originally.
I'm at Christchurch now.
Yeah.
But I'm going to Auckland tomorrow.
Okay, so Auckland is where it'll be. That's because I thought Vinny lived in Auckland. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Vinny's in Auckland. DK's Christchurch.
Yeah, that's awesome.
right.
Good for you, Ellen. I'm
And
so happy for you.
You're
Awesome.
you're kind of
Yay.
you're heading on down there on the world's fastest Indian. That's great. That's great to hear. So you'll be
That's
it's
so
a
cool.
one-
That is actually so
really
cool.
speedy
Yeah.
kind of trip.
Actually, we're going on a jet. But
Wow.
anyway.
Are you flying? Are you really flying?
Wow. Really?
No, we're flying. Yeah, we're
Is it
we're taking a
Vinny's jet? Vinny
Huh?
has a jet now?
flight. No. Vinny's as broke as fuck too.
If I go on a jet, I would be the fastest Indian.
You're
Hey
sick.
guys.
If
Okay,
I
bye.
was Indian.
Bye.
He's just a
Tell Vinny
ranger.
I said hey.
Yeah. We will do. Okay, guys. Talk to you later.
Happy sailing.
Bye.
Thanks for dropping by, buddy.
Cheerio.
Good night.
Be good to each other.
Mm.
So yeah, we'll cut away to commercial break. There's a great shot of, not sure if you caught it or not, Sonia.
I did.
Your
Yes, I did.
your
My son,
your little guitar playing
my baby, my
prodigy.
musician.
That's right.
Mhm.
Good stuff. And that's the son that you share with Jeff as he looks so much like his father, of course, you know.
He does.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Really nice
I can't
looking young
even
man.
believe it when I see him in person.
Mhm.
He acts like him. He
Really?
talks like him. Yeah, and he doesn't even hang out with him so much.
Mhm.
He's grown up with his grandma for the most part.
Oh, I
And
see.
it's like, wow, it's just crazy that it's just amazing to me,
Mhm.
for sure.
Good stuff. Okay, get
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
muted out. We'll take this commercial break. It'll be over the next just a couple minutes here, of course. Starting with, as always, well, first, once again, Galactic Fire T-shirts, among other things. But in addition to that, Red Dragon Herbs and Teas and the CannaSense Cannabis Collective. With Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, any order of $25 or more, you immediately receive a 10% discount. All you simply have to do is let Ryan know one of two things, either simply Pirate Radio or Pirate Code. That's the way you go about doing things, getting that great 10% savings. And the CannaSense Cannabis Collective, 5813 is our referral number, for referral link number that you'll want to jot down, take note of, and use when you peruse their wares. Of course, check out what they have to offer, and hopefully, we're all about health and wellness here. So shop around, and ideally, of course, you will find something that is to your liking. We'll be back here in just a flash, folks. Do not touch either that radio dial or computer mouse.
Medical cannabis is now legal by telemedicine. Get the medicine you need by getting reviewed for a medical cannabis card. Contactless appointments available at CannaSense.com. For as low as $39, you can get reviewed for a medical cannabis card. That's CannaSense.com for a licensed medical cannabis doctor review. CannaSense.com has all the information you need to get connected with a doctor for a $39 medical cannabis appointment. CannaSense.com. CannaSense is common sense.
Catering exclusively to the Des Moines, Iowa area and beyond, Red Dragon Herbs and Teas is a small, family-owned business dedicated to the creation of only the finest quality artisan herbal tea blends. Drawing upon many of the world's most richly established customs and traditions, Red Dragon Herbs' mission is about more than just getting their products out to the market. They also strive to help educate their customers on the wider benefits, history, and folklore of all their plants. Of course, any seasoned pirate knows when they're fixing to tango with the Kraken, you best be powered up with at least one of the finest select quality premium items freely offered via Red Dragon Herbs and Teas wide inventory. Choosing from any of their caffeine-free headache relief or rest and relaxation blends, history has proven their products among the best sources of scurvy prevention and vitamin supplementation. Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, bringing you guaranteed homegrown health relief.
Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, bringing you guaranteed homegrown health relief. Commercial break is always a chance for me to duck out into the kitchen and freshen up on the coffee. So, folks will hopefully excuse the slight delay. We are back. Though, whatever the case it is, of course, show segment number 306 of World Pirate Radio News. I myself, your host, as always, the show's Chief Communications Officer, Jeffrey Ryder. WPRPN.com is the website. Pirate One Radio at ProtonMail.com, our email address. If you've been engaging any of our content over these past, now, this is our 10th year, if you can believe that, folks. Very much. When we're not operating out of pocket, listener supported. So we not only appreciate, but depend on what it is that you can offer us, even if in the smallest way of doing so, including simply sharing the links. But we do have merchandise up for grabs, of course, via Teespring, and Galactic Fire, of course, another great new outlet where you can get your hands on either t-shirts, coffee mugs, things of that nature. So half of everything that we do manage to generate goes directly back to charity. Hashtag WWRHD, what would Robin Hood do? We challenge everyone out there listening as well to consider adopting this approach and way of conducting themselves and their merchandising affairs. Of course, charity and donations are always a good thing if you can find the right cause. So 50%. The other 50%, of course, goes back into the operation itself so that we can manage to keep the lights on and water running, along with just some basic, sufficient wind in our sails, as it were, to see that we keep sailing smoothly along. So, got about another maybe hour at the most here, I suppose, really, depending on the vibe and momentum. We managed to I guess demonstrate, or as far as news stories and the like are concerned, U.S. aid is one of the big ones that people have been talking about this past week. The whole business regarding the 51st state. I've got a song actually that I wrote years ago. I was going to download. Should have, could have, would have done it. But didn't we, in fact, maybe I think Sonia was here. Was it a couple weeks ago that we played that? I think we might have. Did we not?
Yeah, you did play it. I think last time I was on there, actually. I know I missed a couple episodes recently, but yeah.
Okay. So
wrote a song about it. Well, here it goes.
Well, pardon me?
Wrote a song about it. Well, here it goes.
What are you talking about? Is that John Fogerty?
It's some comedy skit back in the 80s, 90s.
Well, Sonia's laughing. She seems to know what I didn't. Yeah, the reference is over my head. So.
Sorry, I thought you guys could hear me.
No.
Yeah. Want to hear about it? Here go. I love that, dude. Yeah, that's so cool.
Saturday Night Live?
I think so, maybe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, all right.
Shit.
What then? Did we have any the LA fires? Of course, California fires have been a big deal. They're still going too, from what I understand. The drone business has subsided, and this is something that Jeff will be able to talk about. Hopefully, we'll kind of bounce that one off of him, see what his
I don't
thoughts
know.
are.
I don't know. We'll find out. Huh.
Have you?
Yeah, I don't. He's not really ever been in the loop with stuff like that, but which
we'll
is
see.
like mind blowing.
Might surprise you.
Yeah.
So
hopefully.
But the
maybe
Phoenix Lights, and then on the 21st, of course, we have Andrew Curry, someone that we'd like to introduce to Naroki. That's really one of the key features that we have in place here, and the way that we function, operate, whether people realize it, remember it, or care to acknowledge the fact that we're reaching out, helping to put people in contact with one another, complete strangers who would otherwise either never met or just taken a more time for them to cross each other's paths. So I don't know if you call it matchmaking necessarily, but just facilitating the introduction of people and letting the karma unfold, things synergistically from there, as it were. So, but he's out of Vancouver. He's someone who has a bit of a history in the film industry, and helped out with Robert Morningstar and the Morningstar Report via Revolution Radio, RBN, and Revolution Radio for a time. And Robert actually reached out to me, and in the past few months now, I've sort of, just not taken over, simply because I guess Andrew he stepped aside, maybe because of his schedule or what have you. But there was that opening, and the rest is history. Really privileged to to be a part of that. It's always really intriguing to hear Robert Morningstar unpack what it is, regarding any number of different issues, of course, whether present or past, in areas of conspiracy or esotericism, maybe just straight up history, current events, of course, you name it, anything goes, frankly, health and wellness. Although, once again, likely don't want to take his word for anything on that front, verbatim, as we mentioned earlier. Just general disclaimer: look into things yourself, of course, and work on discerning. That is the operative word here, of course. So, yeah, Sonia is onto something there. Of course, it's really critical that
a little bit.
We have our conscience. We have our human conscience. Let your conscience be your guide, is how the old saying goes. There's something to that. The way that we're all of us, we programmed, essentially. There's a spirit that abides and dwells within us. What it is in its essence is anyone's guess, of course. I look at it as demonic, not in a bad way, but you call it spirit or demon. It's a life essence. Ki is what the Asians, here in South Korea, it's your ki, of course, or chi. So, and I mean, how does that all evolve? Other than, once again, let your conscience be your guide. But I mean, you need to be in an environment that is nurturing, of course. If it's very beneficial, without which you face a lot of challenges. You've got more of an uphill struggle that you've got to deal with, unfortunately. But hey, once again, Nietzsche, to paraphrase Friedrich Nietzsche, the great, in some people's eyes, controversial German philosopher. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. And what we earlier were trying to flesh out, didn't have the chance to because too many people were talking over one another. We had Naroki present, that regarding the whole Picton pig farm horror show, really, that those who go hunting monsters should take care that they themselves do not become the monster. And it, on top of that, secondly, that those who stare into the abyss should take special, heed and care. Well, actually, no. If those who stare into the abyss, after some time, the abyss begins to stare back at you. So this is all shadow work, really, within the context of shadow work. Something that Jordan Peterson and many others are, anyone that's studied.
Think in terms
young
of
Carl Jung.
energy and frequency.
Right, sure.
You'll know the
Yeah.
secrets to the universe.
Tesla, yes, Nikola Tesla.
That's right.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's yeah. Ding, ding, ding. So
ultimately, it's love.
Ding,
Love.
ding, ding is right.
Underlying.
Sorry.
I think well, that's the refuge, really. That's our the only thing where we can, our salvation. Really, it's because who wants to dwell in a place of hate and despair and all this negativity and things of that sort. So
yes, anger is much better. Anger motivates, hate does not.
Oh, you think you're talking about righteous anger?
Just anger.
You think anger is a positive energy?
Well, obviously,
it's a lower level positive energy, but it gets you motivated.
Mark?
It's a motivation thing.
Okay, Mark.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking on the same lines.
With motivating ourselves?
Yeah.
So how does that work? I would think the righteous anger, like I see what this in the Buddhist tradition, what they talk about is the lion's roar. The lion's roar, but it's not anger. It's just a sense of, like, I'm not an expert in the field, obviously, but you can look into this if you want. People you can imagine the lion's roar. It's like you're coming at this and you're not going to back down, as Tom Petty put it. You're not going to be a total fool, of course. We need to practice skillful means and practical wisdom is what it's known as. Practical wisdom, skillful means, like the two wings.
Whatever gymnastics, mental gymnastics you need to do to get the job done is just
well, that's skillful means.
With
every situation is
different. Whether you name it anger or whatever you were just alluding to, then it as long as it does the effect that you want it to do, go with it.
Yeah, that's it is
anger has. Sorry, Jeff.
No, go ahead.
Anger really makes a difference. Like, for example, if you're it's a kind of a weird example, but if you're like a woman and you're getting your ass kicked every day by someone who's like super mean and not that I've ever went through this so much, of course, but
so much.
But no, I haven't actually. However, I do have my heart goes out to these folks who these women who have had their ass beaten. They're so scared they can't even do anything about it. But the second they get angry about it, they actually make choices that will get them into a better situation. So
it works both ways. I watched my mom beat up on my dad, so it's not just women that are being victimized. And he was a tough guy, so he's just like letting
my dad, he was so angry when I was a kid. Oh my God, he used to call me huge names, like names that you wouldn't call anybody normally when they're like 4 years old. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
it was just retarded.
Yeah, you had a tough upbringing, a childhood. But karma, right? some people are born in the States, others in Canada, others in Asia. Some are boys,
Well,
some are girls,
It
some are
doesn't.
tall,
What are you
some are
talking about?
short.
It doesn't even matter. What are you talking
Well,
about?
it's
What's your
karma.
point?
It's karma. You have a karmic. From the Buddhist perspective.
I don't.
No, well, too
Maybe
bad,
so.
so sad. Your dad. I mean,
Too bad, so sad.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure. But still, though, there's connections that can be made with folks.
Karma.
And when someone cares about you, no matter like what your circumstances, if someone else cares about you like authentically, it makes a gigantic difference in what you can actually go through.
Well, yeah, you need guidance as a little girl or a little child of that age, and your grandma in your situation,
someone helping you.
In your situation, your grandma, because your mom was not present, was she? Or
no,
she was. Where was she?
In a different state, doing other things that she thought she needed to do, because she was like labeled with like schizophrenia and all kinds of other stuff.
Have you ever been labeled? Put into that category?
No, of course not. I'm not going to answer the questions on the box like
just
that.
More,
you know what I'm saying?
Just generally, kind of just a base. It's a big weirdo
then,
and kind of a
back then it was a different thing. Shut up, Jeff. It was a different thing back then. That was back when people got put in crazy houses because.
Own it. Just own it.
Because they had different views or whatever. You know what I mean?
You're kind of a freak. You're just fly your freak flag.
I am totally not even. I mean, that's not even what I'm trying to say here. What I'm trying to say is that anger makes a difference. It can get you out of a bad situation, or can get you into a good situation, or however you want to look at it. It doesn't even matter. Anger is I think it's gotten too much. Like
bad rap
shit from the consensus, and consensus is always a bad thing. If you ask me, it's always NWO bullshit, trying to be, at least in the media and
That's
everywhere
what Socrates
else.
said. Socrates agreed. Watch out, the herd mentality. Nietzsche again, the herd mentality. Watch out, folks. And science especially. Not the way to go.
I was going to say the issue isn't with anger per se, it's just how you handle that anger.
Yes, it is.
How that anger manifests.
Yep, there you go.
I mean, it depends on everything is a situational. It's all context and situational. But more of it, like, just, I mean, we're kind of getting off the track a little bit here, because we're sort of getting into your life and past a little psychoanalysis and
thanks for that,
therapy,
Jeff. That was fun though. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, we're going to continue to do a little more here, but also if that's okay, which I presume it is, but within a larger context, because there's other people out there who have suffered similarly, who have none of us escaped this world unscathed. We all take our hits, and it's just we get knocked around. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. Now, some people some people I think are born a little psychopathic. Like, I had this conversation with my adult students here in Korea the other day, and talking about the childhood innocence and born of pure innocence.
That's very important.
Christ talked about this, the childlike mind, which is very to me
innocence.
Zen.
Innocence is very important. It should always be cultivated.
Yeah, but what they argued, and see. My wife tells me, she's like, "Oh, you're just not flexible. You never change your mind. You're stuck in your ways." It's like, well, I just gave her an example the other day of how in class they drew to my attention that not all children are born that innocent, because they seem to think that the way that the young ones carry on as infants, crying and fussing and just like little enfant terrible. Enfant terrible. I kind of, in French, just a terrible little kid, a brat, basically.
Like a brat, yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You're trying, give them the bottle, give them the food, just baby them, try to mollycoddle, I think is one term, and that there's a lot of that goes on here in South Korea. Trust me, it's really kind of, it's really pathetic, actually. It's just
it is very pathetic. Well, you have to teach children. You can't just give them whatever they want all the time. You have to
Well,
have to, like,
that's what it ends
lead
up
them
being.
into a
Teaching them that
path.
anything that they demand at the moment or want,
Can't
desire, that
always
it's like, I get
get
it,
what
me,
you
get it
want.
more. And so all the with the sense of self and their ego formation from that
Mhm.
point, which who knows how much they're actually born with these tendencies or characteristics. That was kind of the argument, that not all children are born of pure mind, as like
They are.
Mm,
I think they are. I
well, then
observe
why are
that
they
they
such
are.
little, some such terrible
Because of
little
their
brats?
parents. It's because of their parents.
You're just blaming the
It's because of how their
parents.
parents.
I've had
No.
plenty of discussions
It's
about
not blaming the
major
parents.
arguments.
However you're treated, you mimic that. That is what happens from
But you're
birth.
all, but how?
I
Okay,
have a
but
little
how about?
grandson
But
here.
okay, what
So,
you're forgetting though,
not
or
to mention 3
overlooking,
kids. Okay.
your little
I'm sorry.
grandson seemed very angelic. I saw him for a few moments. He seemed very beautiful and
Yes.
sweet. Yes.
Besides all that, what were you trying to say?
Yeah. Well, thank you for not interrupting and letting.
I can't help it, bro.
No.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. So
Yeah, well, it's a
remember,
it's called a conversation.
two
okay?
drink cap. Otherwise, unlimited. Otherwise, just don't bother answering the call. That's that's
Really?
yeah.
Really?
hmm
Okay.
With
All right.
everyone. With everyone.
Do you want to keep going, or
Just hang
should we
on. Let me finish. Just let me finish.
please, please do.
Just
Please
stop
take this fucking stage.
well, it's who I mean, Christ Almighty. It's who is this is whose live stream is it after all? Who's brought
Yeah, I don't know.
brought it, kind of got it on track and made it happen, brought it to life. So yeah, finish the point.
Who's on first?
There we go. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, who's on first?
Ding,
Thank you,
ding,
Chris.
ding. Yeah. So, yeah, submit. Hey, listen, bitch. Submit to the big dog. All right. Submit to the big dog. All right?
Baby.
Submit to the big dog.
Now you're turning me on.
Oh, you go
Don't
for that
turn me
rough
on
stuff.
like
dude. You
that.
go for that rough stuff.
Don't
You want
turn
that
me on like
tough
that,
talk.
bro.
Yeah, I'll teach you a lesson.
Listen, bitch. Whatever,
Mark,
Jeff.
look at
can you
Mark.
please
Mark's
finish what
getting
you were saying?
all
I
wet
was
and
very
bothered.
interested in what you were saying. Can
Let
you
me
please
because it's an important point that we are born. Once again, this
Yes.
is out of the New Testament as well, and it goes into the whole Buddhistic thing too more deeply, because the New Testament is just kind of, it's all like just muddied, but just the whole business of not prerequisites, that characteristics. Let me just hang on, just to make sure that we have some quality audio quality here in place. There, pre-birth tendencies or characteristics from former lives, basically, is what I'm talking about, that we bring that to our next life as a child. That's why we manifest, all of us, certain tendencies, whether intelligence or athletics or handicaps and disabilities, our physical appearance, whether handsome or not in the eye of the beholder, born once again, male, female, location, and so forth. And it's endless within the broader karmic context of things, the circle, the wheel of rebirth. So that's basically all the point I was trying to make, and is that all of us bring to the table, or bring to this life, what we have inherited from former lives. That's the argument that I would make. That absolutely. And that's what, and with if you read the New Testament, simply put the question to Christ, one of his disciples, I'm not sure which one, but why was the man born blind? Was it because his parents sinned, or that he sinned? And of course, to really kind of get to the the kind of heart of things, the meat of the matter, you need to see the original Aramaic or Koine Greek, right? And from there, it's like, well, what did he really say? Like, this is what they wrote down, but what was that even it? Not modern day English or Korean, or it's like, because so much gets, but basically the gist of things, yeah, sure, that I think they're making a point there. Interesting one, well worth reflecting on. And the question is, well, the crux or gist of it all is, well, how could this child, this little baby, possibly sin if they hadn't even been born yet? So what is the underlying assumption there is they're inheriting, they're bringing something from a former life to where they are at present. That's why he was born blind. That's the the argument that Christ was making.
I personally disagree.
Why does this not surprise me?
Yeah, I would argue the sort of chance, the sort of roll of the dice sort of argument, and this sort of thing.
So, okay, you mark England, with your parents, as it were, your family, location, your aptitude, your inclinations, and so it's all roll of the dice, just kind of random.
Oh no, the aptitude things is all about it's the nature argument. It's all about what you've been exposed to. But your argument about if somebody is born blind, again, I would argue that's more sort of chance. Obviously, you could argue that it could be related to sort of how the parent, mother maybe, has treated their body in the past, but
genetics.
I think
genetics is a big, as we know now.
Yeah.
But even why they're born to that family with those genetics. That's the thing. It goes beyond. In Korea, what we say here is chonseng, hyunseng, naeseng. So chonseng is before life, hyunseng, like hyundai, like now, modern times, and then naeseng, next life. So chonseng, hyunseng, naeseng. And but yeah, look at it however you like. All I'm saying is just it's something to consider and reflect upon. It's really everyone's free choice.
Did you mute me, Jeffy?
We did, yeah. A little audio kind of quality control.
Did
there.
you? Oh, that's so unfortunate. Absolutely. So I just wanted to say real quick is what happened to the Yowza in the end of the GNR song, Sweet Child of Mine? Do you guys remember the Yowza at the end of the song? No, it's not a weird thing. It's like a Mandela effect.
That's a great. I love the song. It's a great song.
Right? And don't you remember at the end of the song it said Yowza?
No.
Right?
Does anyone?
Do you remember that shit?
No.
I remember that.
You can edit that out. That's easy. It's very easy to edit.
Anybody can edit anything, of course, and that's my point with the whole Mandela effect thing. Is are they just editing things out and then presenting those?
I vaguely remember that.
Axl Rose kind of looks like he might have been cloned a little bit. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's the whole Mandela effect thing. Is that they're just
I really suspect that's a CIA psyop as is
you think so?
As is the flat Earth nonsense. Yeah, and Q, they're distractions.
I don't know about flat Earth either.
Distractions. There's more important things than flat Earth and the Mandela effect.
That's a judgment, and judgment clouds your vision. So
what are you talking? Having an opinion?
Things.
Having an opinion?
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe having a firm opinion on things, like judging it.
I don't know. I'm not saying it is a fact. I just suspect it's a hypothesis. That's all.
Well, suspicions, of course, that can happen. Absolutely. That's how we formulate things, of course. But to confirm it,
Good luck.
That's the game. That's the game they're playing, though. Yeah. They're getting people to confirm things.
You'll never be able to confirm stuff like that unless there's some insider that blows the whistle.
Yeah, even so, it's like so back around the corner and down the street and stuff with these guys now.
What do you mean? Give an example.
Geez. Well, we could use the Yowza example. I mean, it's like a psyop back and forth, and then back and forth, and then back and forth again, to where people don't know what to think. And not only that, let's not forget about the way that everyone's hooked up to the cloud these days, and they've got people's minds on tap, like they can just punch in whatever they want and just do whatever they want to people, make them like poop their pants if they want to or whatever.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, seriously, it's not even fair. And
It's one,
Mark like totally has no, he doesn't
it's
even
one of the reasons
whatever.
I spend such little time online. I'm cutting back on the amount of time I spend online, other than when we're
You
doing the
don't have to be
shows.
online though. You just have to be on a list.
That
That's all.
on what?
A list.
Yeah, that's why I have difficulty with customs and flying internationally every time it seems that I want to go anywhere.
Well, sure, that's a different list, but yeah, absolutely.
Everyone's color
Yeah.
coded.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that's so psyopish.
Well,
The color
that's
code
actually no,
thing.
that's just the I think the bureaucratic governmental norm, the way they function.
Yeah.
With
What
there's
I mean is
files
that
on everybody.
absolutely, and everyone who's born, there's a file on, and then there you go. I mean,
And there are
whatever's
some that are put into
there's
certain
different
more
departments
risky
and
categories of like look at Tulsi Gabbard, for example, who now she's thankfully found her way to she's a
she's
great
not on a list. Well,
no,
she is on a list.
she
Oh,
was
she's
she was on a
totally on the list.
no-fly, like a terror threat list,
She's
and
kind of
now
like
she's
right there
been
working with the
now
whole
the
thing.
tables have turned, and lo and behold, look where she is. So good for her.
I don't know where she is. I don't really pay
Have you
attention
not
to
heard
her.
of Tulsi Gabbard?
Yeah, I've heard of her. Yeah,
Do you not
and
know where
I've
she
seen
is?
it. I've heard she's a positive person.
Well, do you not know that she's serving in the Trump administration?
Yeah,
That's
I've heard that.
at a pretty high level.
What's the
Yeah,
role?
I've heard she's a pretty positive person as far as the influence goes or whatever. But and it seems like she's like all for she's not captured as far as that goes.
Well, she is a member of the CFR, supposedly. So, and
I
maybe
don't know what that is.
well, Council on Foreign Relations, which, just to be clear,
I
is
don't know what that means.
if you listen up, you might find out.
I'm listening up, bro. Here, let me mute myself. Okay.
Council on Foreign Relations, CFR, which is the American U.S. branch of the Royal Institute of International Affairs. Mark might be aware of that. If he's not, he might be interested in looking into the whole business. RIIA, Royal Institute of International Affairs. It all leads back ultimately to the Rhodes Roundtable organizations. You got people like the Rhodes Scholars, Clinton.
Eats the bugs.
Yeah, World Economic. Well, that's the modern day kind of the elite. The globalists.
Well, he's the chair of the world leaders, whatever.
Well, we were talking Cecil Rhodes.
Young leader.
You've heard of Rhodesia?
Yeah.
Zimbabwe.
And the Boer War and the Rothschilds' involvement in that, of course.
But she's also a young global leader. Whatever,
I see what you're saying.
Klaus Schwab.
That could be. That very well could be. That's right. Now, but does that thereby we thereby assume that? Look, we need. I mean, the people are going to be wanting to be active and play a direct hands-on role in government at whatever level, as well they should. We need good people in place to kind of, unless you're just a full-blown anarchist, I suppose, but keep the it's like the glue, the ties that bind, basically, to keep institutions, agencies either disbanded, as what we saw with the federal Department of Education now on the outs, as it were, and it sounds like is a pretty good move on the part of the Trump administration. There's certain things I'm not all in with Trump, by the way, just for the record, but that one area, absolutely, it seems to make a lot of sense, and hand it over to the states. It's similar the way Canada, hopefully, is. I don't know if we had Naroki, he could help clarify, of course, but do it on the provincial level. Why not? So, but we need good people whether locally, provincially, or federally. The problem is where you have corruption, and you have, as you say, like these captured insiders that are on the take, and either are compromised through sexual blackmail or some kind of blackmail. Maybe they're just all about greed, and that's what kind of worries me about Trump a little bit. And people like him, of course. As it says right in the Bible, he considers himself a I don't know, a Christian of sorts, I guess. But what is the root? What is the root of all evil? Does anyone know that?
Isn't dude totally Jewish?
Well, he's that too. Yeah, his family is. Yeah, they've.
Oh, he's that too. So you can be Christian and Jewish at the same time.
Yeah, that's a bit of a problem, I guess. It's kind of a contradiction in terms. Yeah, that's a good point. So sometimes, Sonia, you do make very good points. There's no doubt about that. So thank you. But yeah, no, but what according to the Old Testament? I'm not like a Bible thumping Christian or.
Isn't the devil the root of all evil?
Well, close. No, Mark, do you want to take a shot at this? Maybe anyway.
The evil, I mean, devil.
Roger
evil.
Hansen, Just Rev. Good to see you, Rev. Thanks for dropping by VT Live. And just a second here, folks. Who else we got there? They're really unpacking, unloading here. It should have been paying more attention. Just Rev. We want to get you back on the show if you are there as well, too, Reverend Jim. I was just thinking about this the other day, how I'd love to have you back on as a feature guest. I think it's about time that we try to put something like that together. Sonia here has been doing a heck of a job helping out, really. And I can't, I just want to give you a lot. I can't give you enough credit. I can't give you enough credit.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. No problem.
Yeah.
I'm happy to help. Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
I have a question for Chris. Oh, I love you too, Jeff. I love you too, baby.
But you're doing a good job and a number of other friends. So yes. You do better.
I have a question for Chris.
We haven't answered the question though. Like, what is the root of all evil? Devil. Okay, that's kind of close. Mark,
you're talking to me?
No, anyone.
Oh, Mark.
Anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, money is
Jethro.
I'm gonna say assholes.
Jethro's got it. Jethro's got it in the peanut gallery chat end of things. The love of money. There we go.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say assholes because
good work there.
People who have money, it's just a tool.
Rhodesia was the country that was torturing people, says Roger Hansen. So I mean, what we got torturing. I mean, South Korea probably does, engages in a little more of that than what most people are aware of as well. They definitely used to in a major way, and we could have easily kind of regressed into the similar type state had Yoon managed to be successful with his attempted military coup, where they just, you know how this typically goes. They just come to your door and demand access and, take you off and just a world of grief and woe. So sometimes, some countries you never even seen or heard from again. So that's how crazy things can get unless we stand up. We stand back. We stand up and we push back and we say, "This shall not stand, man. This isn't cool. This, the dude will not." The dude will not.
You open up. You open up the window and you shout out, "I'm not gonna take this shit anymore."
Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah.
Something that I'm thinking in relation to Roger's comment just now.
Karma peed on herself, Mark. Karma peed on herself, and Roger thinks it's sexy.
Oh my God!
Keep people
that's
up to speed.
So,
what we see,
unnecessary,
sort of a highbrow,
into the
discourse,
combo, bro.
It's the high. Well, this is the highbrow.
So, I have a question for you, Chris. Why are you doing your trip, your cross country thing? Why are you doing it? What is that about?
Thinking. Thank you for dropping by, Jethro. We just
Unless you're
and this
unavailable
Jethro
to
character
answer.
is someone that really does. I'm intrigued by. But go ahead, Chris, and I got to check out D Live while you're doing that.
Yeah.
Christopher.
Yeah.
Christopher, do
I
better.
don't think he's there. I don't think he's there.
Oh, I thought I was unmuted. I was sitting there talking
Did you
away.
get her question? Did you hear her
Oh,
question?
were you? Yeah.
Yeah. So, to a lot of reasons, but for one is getting out, exploring, adventure, whatever, and being healthy, like getting in shape, like better shape. I'm already decently healthy, but I want to get really healthy, and so I can hopefully maintain it the rest of my life.
Sure.
And bringing awareness to a bunch of different things.
Like what?
Well, biking, hiking, camping, all the different things, but also I'm going to be doing a 360 virtual tour type deal of the Greenway, the East Coast Greenway Trail,
Okay.
and hopefully the Appalachian Trail too, as long as my camera will hold out for the whole thing.
Right.
And so I'll be basically, if you look at the blue lines on the map, you can follow different roads and whatnot, and it'll give you like the street view version.
Cool.
That's basically what I'll be doing. It'll just be camera stuck on my helmet and
Okay.
taking like
So
pictures of it.
So you're just doing it really for yourself and for exploration purposes.
Pretty much, and then bringing awareness to, and because of the Greenway, like bringing awareness to the Greenway Trail. I don't think many people know about.
Yeah, what is that? What is the Greenway Trail?
The Appalachian Trail is a trail that goes up the Appalachian Mountains, and it's well known, like pretty well known. That but. And it's been there for a lot longer than the East Coast Greenway. The East Coast Greenway, I think, started around the 70s, 1970s. And it's a biking trail, like for bicycle, riding your bicycle. And you can bike all the way from Key West, Florida, all the way up to Colassus, Maine. I may be butchering the name of the city, but it's Colassus, Maine.
Yeah, that's super cool. A bike trail all the way that way. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Yeah.
So bringing awareness to the East Coast Greenway and the Appalachian Trail also, which it already has pretty good notoriety, but it still couldn't hurt, to get some awareness to it, to get more maintenance for the trails and whatnot.
Well, I can tell you from my own experience that riding a bike is super awesome. It's much different than driving a car, for sure.
Oh yeah.
And it has much more, I think, value to your spirit, really, than driving in a car. And I love cars, don't get me wrong, especially like Camaros and like fast cars or old cars. But riding a bike, no matter really what kind of bike it is, it's a really an awesome experience, especially if you're riding a long distance,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I would definitely be riding some long distances.
Dangerous too. We were trying to caution him last week, just as a reminder to take every measure possible to watch out. That I don't understand, like having to ride on the same side of the road as the traffic behind you.
Yeah,
that's super dangerous.
So like I said, the East Coast Greenway was only started in the 70s, and it's about 30 to 40 some odd % complete, and they're adding new sections as they can. But
this late?
For now it's still in development, and a lot of the trail, or a lot of the trip, I'll be riding on like U.S. highways and different old, smaller roads. But it's going to be real close to the coast, so majority of it's going to be within a couple of miles or, yards to the beach. So
Cool.
it shouldn't be too awful as far as like riding on the roads.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's going to be some crazy roads, but most of them are going to be pretty, like, not too many people on the road, or if there are, there's some slow travel, 30, 45, something like that.
That's pretty exciting.
I'll let y'all know when I get on the trail.
Yeah.
Last
Sounds
few
fun.
minutes here, folks, to the this week's live stream show, segment number 306 of World Pirate Radio News. Thoughts, comments, questions. We got Jeff Willis coming up here with UFOs over Phoenix this Friday night, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 on the East Coast. Following week, Andrew Curry out of Vancouver. He, of course, is Robert Morningstar's former co-host to the Morningstar Report, Revolution Radio, RBN Network. Definitely something worth checking out every Monday evening, as a matter of fact. Robert now has me on as co-host, and I take just play the same role that Mark, Sonia, and Chris here are at present. Basically, just a little extra color commentary from time to time. And although he does tend to really, well, if people tune in, make of it what you will. It's great content, and he's much more of an alpha male than I realized, or I thought at first. With his whole Taoist background and history, he's really very alpha, yin and yang. He's very, very conscious of both yin and yang, and working ideally, I guess, as we need to balance the two. Although there are times where it seems extreme intensity and force, maybe wrath, is called for, depending on the situation. Along with the opposite, just pure tranquility and calm. So all we can do is really navigate things and try to work on coming up with the best solution or state of affairs that we can manage. Speaking of which, did anyone here know what the meaning of the term cyber actually means? Can you think of other sort of compound words like cybersecurity and so forth that would come to mind just off the top of your head? Cyber this, cyber that.
I just doing a quick search for SKYPE etymology.
I know you want to say it, Mark. Come on, say it. Cyber sex. It's okay.
No, I'm just looking at the Oxford English Dictionary's definition of.
Oh, hey, but you're
cyber.
cheating, man. That's no Oxford. No, man. Okay, jeez. All right, fine. That's there's the best background of the night right there. What Sonia has. Is that Gabriel or just an angel of some sort, or Gabriel? Who knows? Did you make that up? Where did it come from? AI or? We can't hear you, by the way. So I think Do Better muted you out.
Yeah, it had to be Do, huh?
Of course. Yeah. So, yeah.
You are going to get beat up.
Muting
no. Actually, you know what? I will mute out anybody if they're rustling around. They got papers. If they're rolling cigarettes.
If I am going to ever see you in person, I am going to first punch you for muting me.
Punch before you blow me. Probably.
What is going to happen?
Yeah, exactly.
What? Oh my God! What?
You said if what? Well,
oh my God!
What happened to that huge crush, Sonia? Come on. What happened to the huge crush? I thought you had this like major hard on for Jaffe. What?
I still have a crush on you. Absolutely.
Oh,
I
at
mean,
least
come
you're
on.
honest.
You're gorgeous,
You
in
think
my
so?
opinion.
Really?
I do.
I thought
Absolutely.
Mark was the
Mark
cock of
is
the
very
walk.
attractive as well. He is.
He's a quiet
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
brooding.
he can't really help it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's the beard.
It
really
comes out.
The beard does it for
all
me.
over the place. Yeah, the beard is very attractive as well. You know.
Speaking of coming out all over the place. All right.
You're making me
Especially
blush.
since you shaved your head, Jeffy. Oh my God.
Yeah,
well,
like, you've heard of fisting. You've heard of fisting, haven't you?
I'm totally
how about heading?
Yes, I have.
Hey, totally how about heading? It's an amazing.
Oh
no, it's just fantastic.
Really?
It's
Are
like
you
a total
me?
rebirthing.
So gross.
Rebirthing.
So gross. Oh my God.
My mother just died. I need to make that connection with the the cosmic feminine here. So the wife and I we're working on I mean, she has been all about for years now giving me head, and so I figured at least I ought to return the favor in my own small way with this what I've shaved here.
And you complain about cussing.
Complain about cussing?
Oh my God. Yeah.
I'm not saying anything.
Then you're like, wow,
I'm
are
not
you okay? Jeff, is there something you just needed some friends to talk about stuff?
No, I'm just all hung up on heading as of late. Yeah.
There's nothing. I want to say there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I'm just for the record.
You've tried it a few times, or what exactly? Jeff's got too much hair to head. You can't. That's one of the rules. You can't. If you want a head, you can't have hair. So that's you got to do away with the antenna, the hairy antenna. Everyone goes silent now. It's just too much. Oh, come on. Lighten up.
You have to have an antenna. Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
Oh jeez.
You're so
Mark
funny.
Mark looks thoroughly disgusted right now.
I know, right?
It's like, his mother died just a year or so. You should try it, Mark. Shave your head and get you can just rent it, get a hooker for the night or something.
No, don't shave your head, Mark.
No.
You look beautiful, Mark.
Dive right in there. Dive right in there. It's a rebirthing. All males need it. Yeah. Something. It's a major psychic transformation.
It is actually. It is.
Yeah.
But you just think about it before you make that leap.
That commitment.
Yeah, commitment. It's like a commitment. So
no, like I said, she's for years giving me head. I thought it's the least I could do to help my own small way return the favor.
Oh my God, this is so bad, Jeff. You're so hilarious. Oh my God.
How did we even get here? I don't know.
I know, right? I know.
No, we've just. Oh, now. Speaking of people,
I think it started with muting me. Actually,
yeah.
I'm gonna mute myself.
It's about that time. Here comes Danny. He's bitching and whining. He wants some food. So yes, indeed. So thanks, hey, to everyone. Of course, that was a part of things this week. As you know, we're 2 shows behind. This will be our 3rd show now. We're catching up. We were 5 shows behind for a time there as far as what we're archiving to Odyssey, Rumble, and BitChute. But keep adding those comments to the chat end of things, folks. Subscriptions, notifications, really, really critical, really, really helpful to our little underground operation here. And the PayPal support as well too, along with Mines. Bob Dub's been really good on that front. The Mines tokens coming our way. Occasionally we find T-shirts or coffee mugs being purchased by supporters out there in listener land. So can't say enough good things about that. Passing word along to friends, family, coworkers, sharing the links. Can't emphasize that enough. And support our sponsors as well too. Red Dragon, Herbs and Teas, the CanaSense Cannabis Collective, and of course, galacticfire.com. It's what our merchandising director here, Sonia, has worked so hard in putting together, launching, and wow, I mean, she's definitely knocking it right out of the park. So we're really expecting to see some big things coming her way over time. In fact, that's one of the reasons we ran with the promo kind of cover splash photo that we used. Sonia, what you sent to us there, the beware the techno kraken. So can you let's once again just to refresh and review the tentacles, big pharma, big media. We forgot we left out big media. The Mockingbird media. They're the gatekeepers, folks. Okay, hello, that's their job. They're corporate gatekeepers. Why do I say that with such confidence? Because I was being trained essentially to work within the industry, and ultimately, I went on to freelance, where you have more freedom. You're not answering to as many. Well, there are guidelines and parameters still, but they are the gatekeepers, and it just makes me sick to no ends to talk about Gaza and Israel, for example, how totally skewed and one-sided it is, as if Gaza, Palestine, the Semites, indigenous Semites, long time residents of that region, who, I mean, how can there be any doubt that what we've been witnessing isn't all out just a bloodbath, slaughter, genocide? I mean, how can that even be questioned? And to think that it's even a war, it's a pretty lopsided affair. Obviously, there's real, David and Goliath, if ever there was one. I mean, Israel is a nuclear power, something that. How many times have you heard Fox News even bring that up, raise that as an issue? Zero. That's and just
Because
it just goes on endlessly. Go ahead.
Because it's not an issue. It's not. It's not. There's no chance of Israel throwing nuclear weapons at any point.
Well,
yeah.
Are you not familiar with the Samson option?
Yeah, there is. It's an option, but just
do you not think that strengthens their hand at the bargaining table? Just a kind of gentle reminder. Oh well, by the way, we are.
Well, yeah, you can use that as a threat, but there is a difference between a threat and actually doing something.
Well, they've been using, deploying a lot of depleted uranium over the years. That seems quite evident. So, they have been using nuclear weapons.
Argument about the U.S., Britain, and France, and Russia.
That's right,
and the India and Pakistan.
How much, presently, the past is what it is, but at present, and the Holocaust was what it was. But let's look at the current state of affairs, rather than endlessly.
Well, as you
appealing to.
I disagree with your
spit it out, Mark. Come on, spit it out.
I fully disagree with your concept of the Israel Palestine issue.
How so?
As you well know,
I don't know. Tell us.
Argue that it's all about removing fundamental Islam in the form of a terrorist organization, i.e. Hamas, and trying to
build up a lot of real estate there, that prime real estate location, seaside resorts, and tourist
immaterial in my view.
destinations. The Trump
Again, we have
empire
a
angling
serious
its way into
issue
the
with
equation.
theologic political entities such as Hamas and Hezbollah and various other organizations.
Right. I mean, Israel has its defense forces as well, who, I mean, I really don't see how they're any different. In fact, they're in some ways you could say even worse. Are you familiar with the Hannibal Directive?
Yeah, indeed.
Now, finally, that has finally broke out into the mainstream, it seems, in the last week. Finally, we've been talking about here since October 7th, and standing by our guns and stating quite no holds barred, quite honestly and very straightforward manner, clearly reporting on the situation. How could October 7th not be an inside job? Why are people so stupid and dumbed down to think, other than the fact that the media tells them this, and in league with whatever government it is that is said to be representing their interest, together they just parrot the same talking points in trying to dissuade us from thinking that it could ever possibly have been an inside job, when right from the start, I mean, do I have to state my case? I mean, I probably cannot do the best job in arguing or making clear, revealing how this is so evident and obvious, but people, open your bloody eyes. Israel, the most capable as far as their surveillance and their ability to keep a very close watch on every last little almost nanoparticulate.
Have you never heard of guerrilla warfare?
Just because have you ever never heard of inside jobs?
Yeah, but again, arguably we're both speculating here.
Are you not aware what sort of trouble Netanyahu was in? Political trouble he was in on the lead up to October 7th, the street protests that were taking place, and the fact that how he was trying to actually abolish the judiciary, so that he could essentially, as El Presidente, completely veto any decisions that they made which may go against his interests.
I would need to.
So, I mean, why is it that you are so adverse? Like, I don't know. It seems you are, that you yet. I'm not sure where Sonia or Chris stand on the matter, or any. I guess probably our listeners are somewhat divided, but I mean, how much more obvious would it have to be for you to realize that October 7th was an inside job? It was a must be. They allowed it to happen.
Again, that's speculation.
Well, you try to make your case. Well, why was it that the defense forces were not able to sound the alert? Why was there, what was it, like an 8-hour delay after? Yeah.
Yeah.
As an example.
Again, I'm not overly familiar with the infrastructure.
Yeah, well, look into it. How is it they were able to penetrate, to get away with this, and that their protective. We've all heard of the the Iron Dome defenses they have for incoming missiles. Well, similarly, from the ground level, they are able to monitor right down to out on the desert, every last even little insect, little bug that's scuttling along the ground. It's that.
I also remind you of Iran's viewpoint from since 1979, since the revolution, about the removal of Israel as a Jewish homeland.
Ethno-nationalist, kind of like like the way that the Nazis were under Hitler were trying to promote in their own sort of way. So ethno-nationalism for the Ashkenazis. Oh, the Ashkawats? Oh, Nazis. So yeah, and to think that it wasn't inside job, people are really what is the term exactly? Cognitive dissonance, willful ignorance, cognitive dissonance,
Willful ignorance
willful
until there's
ignorance.
actual
So
further
the Hannibal
evidence.
Directive, the Hannibal Directive. What do you know about that, Mark? And why is it taking so long for it to break into the mainstream? But although we've talked about here now for ever since October 7th, really.
Well, because the average person is fairly ignorant about what happens beyond what the mainstream media tells them.
Right. But why is it taking so long for the Hannibal Directive to finally make its way into the mainstream?
Because the mainstream media have their own, should I say, agendas, or is
That would work with me. I think that's one way of putting it. Yeah, agenda. Like I said earlier, they're the gatekeepers. All
there's
the
a
news that's
wide.
fit to print. You know that expression that was it the New York was it the New York Times back in the day, and all
Yeah,
that. So
yeah,
some news
yeah.
just isn't fit to print, I guess, right? So yeah, so it's rather odd and peculiar that finally over time. There's three things the Buddha talked about this that over time they cannot be hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth.
Not so sure.
October
And the cell
7th,
towers.
the sun,
truth
the
can
moon,
be.
and October 7th. Yeah,
And the cell towers.
yeah, your friendly cell phone towers that have nothing to do with impacting our psychic
Nothing at
brain
all.
function or transmission
No,
of
nothing at
consciousness
all.
or reception
Don't be silly. You're being silly, Jeffy.
or 5G
Zip it with the silliness.
with the
I know
experimental
the 5G, entire 5G
Charles
argument is
Lieber,
ludicrous.
former, he's facing having gone to court, ankle bracelet, $100,000 fine. Yeah, good old Charles Lieber. Look into his history, folks.
Yeah,
It goes pretty deep. With the
for
Chinese
sure.
espionage, Thousand Talents program, working together hand in glove with China, out of where of all places? Where were the all roads lead to Rome? No, in this instance, all roads lead to, you guessed it, Wuhan. Charles Lieber, former head of Harvard's biochemistry department. So, all right. Well, Mark, you of course, Medworthy, over on Mines. We've got a little bit to talk about just briefly here, maybe after we wrap up the live stream, to touch on this business of what's taking place as far as the homepage is concerned. And I think that's the main focus we're trying to have addressed at present. It's not, and your ability to connect with Alan. So, and Sonia, now we've got your contact information. Which, let's hear it one more time, though, just to be clear. Is it just Sonia Galactic with an E over on Mines?
I think it's Sonia Galactic on Mines, yes.
Right.
TEC.
Oh, yeah, because I think that's the URL we use for you. We prefer that everyone have their own in-house WPRPN.
Yes, I was thinking about getting one of those. Actually, I thought I already had, but over on your website, I thought I had gotten one, but apparently it wasn't what I thought it was for some reason. It was a little bit confusing.
Yes.
So,
I know.
I'll have to check it out again.
I'm not the one who was behind that. We've got to. That requires a do-over as well. But right now, we need to have Mark or somebody, maybe even Roger, if Mark's not able to take care of it. But I think he said he has. He's committed to getting the job done. Our live streams through HomeNetwork.tv, who big thanks, shout out to Alan, of course, who they pick up our feed and they help to syndicate the show. So not only do we go over D Live, YouTube when we're not being censored, Facebook, and Telegram, but also homenetwork.tv. Be great to get that whole Rumble end of the operation up in place, but it does
Rumble
seem
Studio.
yeah, it's a little complicated for us at present, and maybe we'll
Roger
manage.
knows how to do it.
Yeah, I know he does. That's right.
Yeah.
So, and I
Yeah,
think
there you go.
Naroka's worked it out too. So, anyways,
Maybe so.
it's more. It's we're in no big rush here,
Yeah.
frankly. So, we just encourage people to help share the link.
Frankly.
Myself and Rogers, I think we've done what, 2, maybe 3 shows on Rumbles so far. No.
Oh, you and Roger, or who?
Yeah.
Naroki?
No, me, Roger, and on one of them, I think Tan as well.
Tan? The Minds Roundtables.
Yeah.
Right. So,
In fact,
and
Yeah, I
it's
think
been
I was
3
on
now.
one of those.
And now, unfortunately, like those shows are going out when we're generally working on just putting the finishing touches on our Friday night feature shows. So that's a bit of a problem for us, and that it makes it more difficult for us to drop in. Although I suppose we could multitask a little bit while we launch the live stream here with. It's Saturdays, of course, too, in South Korea at 1 p.m. Don't forget, folks.
I mean, we us 3 decided that Saturdays was not very practical for us. So and we already had it previously for Fridays anyway. So
yeah, whatever works,
Friday.
man. I mean, absolutely,
Just
it's a majority kind of rule too. So absolutely, just do your thing, and if others such as myself or whoever can or can't make it, then let the chips fall where they may. But thank you once again to everybody. Karma, love, Jethro. Always appreciate his input and commentary. Of course, the Secret Jews, Domin, what does it say there? Dolmen are in Turkey and Iran. There's the Ishmaeli, and that goes back to the whole business regarding the assassins, the old man of the mountain, I guess. And
Afghanistan, yeah, that's more Afghanistan.
I'm not sure where that original, even they talk about a Shambhala connection there. That's one theory, or the way that the things are alleged. Pardon me.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Afghanistan, northeast of India. Yeah, so goes back to the sort of British Empire, the first British Afghanistan war back in 1840. I want to say.
Yeah, 1840. Were you there?
I think I'm not sure. Was I there? I'm old, but not that old. I'm old, but not that old.
Well, but how do you know you weren't there?
Maybe one of his relatives or his past lives.
Maybe you were there, Mark. Who knows, right?
Maybe I was a part of the the East Indian Company, India Company or something.
Yeah. I mean,
Who knows?
do you know? Hey, check this out. I'm not sure if you're aware or not. How many times is the term "born again" referenced in the New Testament? I looked this up the other day. Just out of curiosity, how many times do you think they reference or mention this business of being born
the entire Lazarus thing and Jesus arising again.
It goes beyond that. Nicodemus, look up Nicodemus, born again. There's these little hints, you see. They don't make it that obvious. They're just kind of, because they had to kind of, you can't let people know exactly what's really going on. And you got to do it all in Latin as well, too, for like what? The better part of 1,500 years.
Well, Latin or Greek or Hebrew.
Yeah. Well, the Latin, and which most people don't speak. The Greek, Koine Greek at the time, I guess, was the vernacular. So that was something a lot more could relate to. And even, the Aramaic was the original tongue. But anyways, just I'm being a little cheeky, I suppose. But 34, 35 times is what we're looking at there. So I just find it quite something, these born again, so-called born again Christians, and what maybe it was that Christ was actually going on about when he was, trying to present this to people and in contextualizing uh, where we come from, why we're here, and where we're going. So, you know, but yeah, the
Right.
Afghan. Go ahead.
Cotton Eye Joe.
What's that? Come again.
Hmm.
John
Sorry, Chris.
Candy, Canadian Bacon. Mark?
No.
Cat's
Just wondered. I was curious what Chris said.
got your tongue. I couldn't hear what he said. What did he say?
I said,
Yeah.
Cotton Eye Joe.
What the
We come
what
from
the
where
hell?
you go.
Come out there, Cotton Eye Joe. Come
You're
out
funny.
there,
You're
Cotton Eye
funny.
Joe. How does that song go, man?
Hey, my family's from
Come from where
Oklahoma,
you
so
go. Got no Joe. I don't know. It's a crazy old song.
yeah.
It's too damn fast to remember what it says.
I just thought Cotton Eye Joe, dirty old hoe. That's a nice. I like that rhyme. Come on,
Wow.
Cotton Eye Joe, dirty old hoe.
Wow. Really?
Now watch us go.
You've been like deprived a little too long, bro. I'm just saying.
Just keeping it real.
Apparently.
Just keeping it real.
That's all right. That's all right.
I mean, come on. We are pirates after all. There's going to be a little bit of an edge to what's being unpacked here, basically, and the way we go about doing business.
What's being unpacked? Nicely put.
You can't see, the thing is, and you look at I've investigated somewhat, the world pirate political scene. The realm.
Yes, they're one of those.
There's lots of them, and they're all pussified. Apparently, they're phony baloney.
A lot of things are pussified these days.
They're pussified. So. They're all co-opted. They're captured, co-opted. These phony
that's
baloney.
The plan.
Pardon me.
That's the plan.
It always has been. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's I guess right out of Plato. The Republic, that you can never allow anything from the grassroots to manifest or arise and be born into the world in an organic sense. It all has to be hijacked, co-opted, undermined, sabotaged.
Yes,
that's one of the reasons.
For sure.
One of the
Saboteans.
Right. One of the reasons.
The Saboteans.
Mm-hmm. One of the reasons why people, shows such as ourselves, are endlessly either censored, suppressed, shadow banned, find ourselves with the algorithms running into all kinds of problems. And it's not just us, of course. There's a lot. Any of the people with their freedom fueled truth bombs, that's what they're up against. So
it's kind of a waste to even focus on that sort of thing. Well, if you ask me.
Okay, well,
I'm just saying. I've cultivated this attitude lately to where it's like, people talk about how, we're this and we're that and this is this and this. It's just like, oh my God, like, let's move on already. That's all. Nothing against what you're trying to say, Jeff. Of course.
Yeah, well, we're moving on to this Friday night, so we're once again,
baby,
everybody to meet out. It is Valentine's Day. Hopefully, and this is with Sonia's ex, Jeff Willis. So UFOs over Arizona. Hopefully, nothing too much in the way of a Valentine's Day massacre.
Phoenix, not Arizona, it's Phoenix.
I'm sorry. Okay. UFOs over Phoenix. Hopefully nothing too much in the way of a Valentine's Day massacre. Say that with tongue in cheek, of course. I mean, I'm looking forward to this in a big way. And I think if we allow him to have the floor, he'll, from the sounds of things, be able to really provide a some great quality context, and
Well, he's got lots of experience, so we'll see what happens.
yeah, no, it's
He's been interviewed by Fox. Fox News came to my house, okay? Before they came to my house, and they were like wanting to know what's going on with what he filmed and shit. I'm like, what?
yeah,
It was crazy. Like every other day.
I forgot to ask earlier. You said something about the trail. Is he like? Is it alluding to he's on the trail of the aliens, or is it him
I
finding
think it's
stuff
called
while he's
Trail
out on the
Trail to Aliens or something.
we'll find out more about that this
it's something
Friday
like
night.
that.
Yeah,
Chris.
not a problem. So
Cool.
that's what the show's going to be all about, including maybe even
Maybe I'll see
highlighting.
some aliens while I'm out on the trail.
Well, all kinds of alien.
Sometimes I wonder
angles.
why he doesn't do other things than what he does. But whatever, I am not super involved in his day to day. So there you go.
Yeah,
But if I was, it'd be way more exciting.
8 p.m.
Yeah.
Pacific Standard Time, 11 out on the East Coast. Tune in, folks, this Friday. And 1 p.m. Saturday, if you are someone who calls either Tokyo or Seoul your place of residence. It's been a great ride. And hope everyone had something or another they were able to take away in a positive sense, constructive, to mulling over and reflecting upon throughout the course of the week. WPRPN.com, main website, Pirate One Radio, at protonmail.com. If you have any PayPal donations you'd like to help us out with, show suggestions or guest ideas. On behalf of Captain Long John Sinclair and all the rest of the crew here down in Skullport Harbor, I'm your host as always, show's Chief Communications Officer Jaffe Ryder, reminding you, ear to the ground and eyes to the sky. Tally-ho.